Hello and welcome to DCP Live episode number 255. Welcome.
Yeah, damn. That's a lot.
Goddamn. Welcome. Teej, BigDaddyTeej, welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank
How
you
you
very
doing?
much. I'm
Good to
well.
see you. Yeah, nice.
Good to see
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, this is exciting. 255 episodes, guys.
Yeah.
Mylan hasn't quit yet, so that's good, right?
Is this day two? Is this day two?
Yeah, this is the second official podcast.
You know what Mylan calls our Twitter DM?
Go on.
He calls it the DCP host graveyard. Because Pope Bear's in there, Holtzman's in there,
no.
Fran's in there.
I was like, what do I not know? Oh, day shift number 2. I think I'm going to discover something about DCP, and then I'll be like, oh, guys, I'm out. You guys go through more hosts than packs of Doritos on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Well, look, I survived last week, so yeah, this is where it might get a bit loopy. Maybe.
Yes. This is where we
Not
bring
a good
out.
Bob this week, so we're
Thank God.
This is where we bring out the bacon baby and start taking bets.
But I've got lots of theories for this week. There's it's been a
That's
cracker of
good.
a story, so
That's
Awesome.
good.
we can fill space if there's not much in the top for sure.
That's great. Well, Teej,
Teej.
give us some backstory, man. Tell us
backstory.
Yeah.
Your
geez.
life story, ideally, all of it.
I need
all
an
of the whole
entire
Conception
life story.
to now.
Where did your
First-
parents meet?
High school.
First console.
Wow.
First what?
Console.
Console. Oh geez.
Rapid fire. Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, the blood and violence console, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
My parents were thrilled about that. Yeah.
Did you ever
So much so
upgrade?
that I was allowed to what was I allowed to play? I was allowed to play Vector Man, The Lion King, Toy Story, Jurassic Park, which is incredibly challenging, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow.
All of those games are like basically Dark Souls, I think.
I think
They
Lion
came
King
out
is
now, they'll be
officially
Souls likes.
2D
Yeah.
Dark Souls, yeah. And Sonic. I could play a lot of Sonic. That was another one on my.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one?
Sonic
The
two?
first one?
Nice.
2 was my favorite. I mean,
2 was your favorite?
it was the Disco Zone.
Yeah,
Did you
it's a
ever
good spot.
play?
That disco's
It's pretty hot stuff.
Did you ever rent Mortal Kombat and secretly
I went to a
play
friend's
it?
house to play it secretly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walked down the street. I grew up in one of those neighborhoods where I grew up till I was 8, but I lived in one of those neighborhoods when I was a child that like it was like a quiet street where all the houses were real close, so you could we all played out in the middle of the road, you know, set
Yeah.
up wooden bike ramps and stuff, and then we'd wreck each other and then go play video games in somebody's house.
Yeah.
Good
And
stuff.
one of the houses was the Mortal Kombat house, and we
Love it. Yeah.
pretty good.
That's great.
That's the kid whose parents just didn't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
He was like the
There's
third
always
kid.
Well, they gave up.
Well,
on
that's
it.
me. That checks out. I was playing Resident Evil at 9, so this makes sense.
Really?
Yeah.
My brother.
I'm well adjusted.
Yeah, my brother bought the PlayStation. I would go over to his house. He's 10 years older than me, and I'd play Resident Evil there. That was great. That's how I got my first taste of that. I eventually,
My siblings are also 10 years older.
there you go. Yeah, we can have that in common. I eventually inherited that PlayStation, and then sold it for a
Really?
Nintendo 64.
No.
Wow.
Yeah,
That was
I
a good sell.
regretted it, honestly.
Why?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I was
There's
excited.
1,000 good games for the PlayStation and 2 for the N64.
Wait, okay, hold on.
Hey,
Did
yeah,
PlayStation
yeah.
1 really have that library, or was it 2 that really kicked that off?
PlayStation 1 had a big library.
Yeah, I mean, it grew. It had some heavy hitters. Played a lot on there. Yeah,
Did you play Turok on PS1?
on the Nintendo 64.
Well, that's what I mean. So you made out like a bandit then. You sold PS1, you got an N64, you could play Turok. So there it is.
You got Ultimate Fog Simulator 1996.
I got all ultimate. Well, I was really excited about Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct on the Nintendo 64 was like the go-to version for that. So
True.
yeah,
I still have a copy of that, and it holds up. It's actually pretty good. I don't still have a copy. I recently bought a copy of that. It's pretty fun still.
Fryer goes around the streets challenging kids to a match
right.
Killer Instinct.
I just yell at him, Killer Instinct!
and then you
And then uppercut them.
Yeah.
And And the kids go, wait, you have to connect the controller to the console?
Yeah, what is this wire for?
Oh. Is it out of batteries? No. Steven.
Remember
There
that,
are no
like,
batteries.
the card that you'd put in there? The memory card in the controller?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the Rumble
Yeah.
Pack.
Oh, yeah, it was
The
a Rumble Pack
was
also.
sold separately.
Yep.
But there was like a memory expansion thing that you could put in there.
Yes.
Yep.
Slotting RAM into your controller so you can play Zelda.
Yeah. Hey, bring over your save
Those are the days.
with your controller. It's like, what? Kids these days, they got it so easy with their Wi-Fi. Bluetooth
They're not waiting
connections.
for things to load while they're looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the biggest problem for a kid is their headphones died and they have to charge their batteries on it.
I was literally just thinking about load times today because I was playing Destiny on a PC, and I was loading from one area to another. I'm like, it went to a black screen for like a half a second, and then it started loading. I was like, geez, that took a little while. I'm like, boy, am I fucking spoiled. Like that was like a 20-second load time, like
Yeah.
max, and I'm like, oh, that took a long time.
You remember Skyrim after you'd played for a while?
Yeah.
Loading into Skyrim took, I don't know how, a very long time.
You could go
Oh,
make a sandwich, raise your kids, send them
You
to
really
college.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
I feel like that's still true with their games. Like Fallout 4 is the same way. It's like
Yeah.
it takes forever.
I've been having the luxury of jumping back and forth between the PS5 and the Xbox Series X for playing Destiny, and I feel
Yeah.
very spoiled. You know, the experience
You are?
is great on both consoles. I played on a
Why do
big
you
screen
jump
TV.
between the two consoles? I'm curious.
Just to show off. He's just showing off.
Yeah, it's a flex. It's an
He's got one
interpersonal
in the
flex.
bathroom.
Yeah, one in the bathroom.
So everyone on his friends list is like, oh, he's on PlayStation now? Oh, he's
PlayStation
on
now.
Xbox? He's on Stadia?
What? What the hell?
He's on Stadia? What's going on? It's all
Yeah.
over the place.
Yeah, it's a flex. Exactly. No, we're really like, so I got the TV, 75-inch TV. I like playing on there. And then sometimes I like being in the office.
In
and
your
playing,
bedroom.
In the bedroom, yeah. 75-inch TV in the bedroom. That's my console experience. And then sometimes I like the editing bay, you know, the stream room to play it in, you know?
Mhm.
Different strokes. What can I say? Also, I'm too lazy to bring one console into the other room and vice versa. So the PS5 is
That's a
always
big
in,
factor. Yes.
yeah, the PS5 is always in here, and if I want to play Destiny in here, it's, you know, it's a great option.
I really want to get a second PlayStation 5 so I can have one in the office and one in the living room. Like, I really hate carrying it back and forth.
I have
Oh,
yet to
man.
get one. I can't find a PS5. I've been
Oh, they're
unlucky.
impossible to find.
Yeah.
I've been unlucky. I do have a Series X, but I've been unlucky with the PS5. So
Do you like the Series X?
I love it.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
great,
it.
right?
I mean, I went from the One X to the Series X, so there was obviously a huge jump there, but less of a
Yeah.
like I had a friend who went from a day one Xbox One to the
Oh, wow.
Series X, and he
Yeah.
was like,
Wow.
yeah, that's a
like,
big
yeah,
jump.
dude, like, yeah, that's pretty. You're in it now.
Yeah. That's a generational leap. A lot of people are concerned that it's not a big enough generation, like a big enough leap between the pro consoles and like the new consoles, but that's from the one to the Series X. That's a huge console
It is.
jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
I'll
Uh,
tell
Are
you
you?
what, though, the
Do you play
Series S
mainly
is-
on PC or do you play on the Series X?
I've before the crossplay, before this season, I was an Xbox main, and I did play
Yeah.
PC occasionally. I have a Friday night raid team that we play PC on Friday nights, and it just it's easier, whatever. But like one of those console lobbies for the Crucible, and now having been on PC since basically every day since the start of the new season, and getting into these PC lobbies, crossplay or not. Iron Banner and otherwise, I've been forced to exercise the thumbs a little more aggressively than usual.
yeah, got to pull out more meta choices.
I try to avoid it, to be honest. I'm one of
Yeah.
those guys. It's like philosophical for me. Like occasionally, sure, it's like, oh, I got some adept weapons. I should go in and be rude with them. But then like even the other night, like the other night, I'm trying to unlock all of the prismatic. One of the is that what they're called? Prismatic engrams? What the
Yeah, the prismatic lens
lenses.
thingy.
You got it.
Are they lenses? We're gonna call them lenses.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes
sure.
sense.
And so the one I have to do progress on this week is auto rifle fusion. And so I was like, oh man, like I could do some fun stuff with this. So I actually brought out a Chroma Rush and main ingredient into the Iron Banner, and I was
Ooh,
having quite a
very nice.
good time with those.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the best rapid fire fusion?
I think it's null right now.
Yeah,
No, it's
best?
pretty good. Yeah,
Although I
it's
saw
pretty good.
Lego the Flash ripping people with Cartesian coordinate.
I've heard Cartesian is very good if you get a good roll on it. I have a
Okay.
decent roll. I haven't tried it yet. I need to try it out.
I've been using Null Composure, and
Mhm.
so for PvE, it's top. It's my fave. Like, I love it. In PvP, if someone's shooting me with an SMG, it never one hit kills. Like, I can be super close, and for me,
Getting
this is
flinched.
my experience, and I'm like holding back netcode. You know, no, don't say it. Don't say netcode. They'll hit me with like an SMG, and like just half the bolts decide not to hit them, even though it looks like it's dead on. So that's my experience with that. If I get the jump on them, then it's a one hit kill if I'm in the proper distance. But it has not been that way, or doesn't feel that way if I'm getting pre-shot. Which maybe that's
Are
the
you
balancing.
sliding when you do that?
Good question. Actually, maybe 50% of the time,
Oh.
because I'm very reactionary, so not always with the sliding.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm aggressive with it, but a lot of the times I like to be reactionary to them pushing at me. So, yeah, no
I would
composure is
be
great.
interested in knowing, Tej, have you always been on Xbox? Did you start on Xbox? When did you start Destiny as well? In the
Beta
beginning?
was my
Beta.
was
Because you're on
my-
Xbox, right?
Oh, the Xbox, yeah.
Same with me. I can't say alpha. I can't be one of those people. Say,
Can't be an alpha
No, I
gamer.
know.
Yeah, because I didn't have a
PlayStation
PS4 at the time. I bought a PS4 because of Destiny. Yeah, but so I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm in the same
same.
camp. Yeah.
Yep. So I ended up playing Xbox all the way through because believe it or not, before Destiny, I was probably like, I mean, Destiny has, and this is going to offend people, but I think I'm the biggest Destiny fan I've ever met. In terms of like just the immersion of it in my life outside of just playing the game. Like, I won't show you what's in this room. It's embarrassing, but
Yeah. What about
Oh,
that?
really?
What about that Master
There's
Chief
things in there.
statue?
so that's actually kind of what I was about to bring up. Prior to Destiny, Halo was that thing in my life.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was a novel reader and a collector and all these different. My wife and I drove 4 hours to the Master Chief Collection midnight launch in Washington D.C. at a flagship Microsoft store, and they
Nice.
had a
Oh, wow.
tournament and swag bags and all this crazy stuff. It was a lot of fun. Master Chief Collection, not as much fun.
Mhm.
But especially not launch night. But like Halo was that thing, and so when I played Destiny for the first time in beta, I did, basically didn't understand the concept of a game that, because I never played an MMO, I never played WoW. I didn't understand the concept of a game that had a loop. I was very accustomed to very like Halo, where you go from the start of the level to the end of the level, and then if you want to, you
Right.
can do that level again. So when they dropped you onto patrol in the beta of Destiny 1, I just did patrols for like 8 or 12 hours straight one Saturday, and I was like, I don't really think I made any progress.
What am I doing?
Like, do I
Like
have
some
a
cool loot though.
objective, or what am I doing? And so I was a little less pumped for launch by the time that launch was coming. I was like, I'm gonna get it because it's Destiny, and obviously the beta is gonna be limited, whatever. But even like really until I got like absolutely backpacked through my first Vaults of Glass, I did not understand what kind of game Destiny was, and how do you win? How do you win Destiny? And
I think arguably Destiny didn't know what kind of
Yeah, I feel like
I think
Bungie might have
only
been
in
on the same
past
page.
year, I think they figured it out. Really,
yeah.
Yeah.
it's been pretty recent.
So yeah, Xbox all the way through. Started to clan on Xbox. My obsession formed around the Taken King era, I think.
Okay. Did you have one of each character?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I had 2 Titans though, because
All
not
right.
at once. But I made a Titan, and one day the golden goose appeared, and my wife said to me, "I think I want to try Destiny."
Oh,
And the angels descended from above, and there was a chorus, and I
Uh-huh.
said, "Okay, I'll do anything you want. I'll delete a character. I'll start over with you. We can do this side by side together as a fire team." And so I went and I deleted my Titan and everything on. I made a brand new Titan. She played the prologue, and then she goes, "I'm never playing this again."
oh no!
Give it a shot.
Oh,
Okay.
devastating.
Heartbreaking.
So I had a fresh Titan, brand new one. All those hours.
Did
flushed
you
down the
delete a
drain on the first
Titan?
one.
Did you delete a Titan because it was your least favorite?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. But you're a
You
fan
see,
of
that's
Halo.
okay
Right.
because all of us are Hunter mains and current Warlock mains. So
Yeah, we're big Warlock fans. Wink, wink.
I would floofing it all over the universe. Feels good.
Looping it up.
I think my wife is enchanted. Should I make her mad? Is she there?
Definitely.
Nope, she called herself out. She says she betrayed me. You did betray me.
Betrayals.
So you're like you consider yourself a hunter main?
Yes. Oh, 100%. Her
Yes.
name is Kira.
Nice.
Mm.
Kira the hunter. Excellent.
I have lore written for her. Like it's not fanfic.
Oh, wow.
It's I do write lore cards for my guardian.
Wow.
We're gonna need you to send them to Mylan so he can grade them.
Yeah.
Ooh, would you really? Would you actually? Would you actually?
Why do you do this to me?
Oh, that'd be so exciting.
How does one grade a lore, a fanfic lore go, wouldn't have said that. No, this is not quite
fanfic.
accurate.
That's what I just said.
Maybe
What
we
is
could
it
have like a
then?
reading.
Ooh.
Does it, wait, what is it not, what's the definition of fanfic? Isn't it just written
Well,
by,
To
Sex,
me, it's when it
Mylan.
gets a little.
Yeah.
It has to be
somebody's getting
steamy?
fucked.
Usually sexual
it
undertones.
has to be steamy? Okay. You look guilty, man. I know you got fanfic.
Okay.
Mylan will draw it for you.
Nice. All right. I'll let you in the secret
Hey,
stash.
You were saying before the podcast that you partake in the lore. You at least listen to the lore panel at one of the guardian cons, right?
I'm not like I would say that I have passion for the lore without doing a lot of fact checking. So
Right.
like I love it, like throwing myself into it, but I if you ask me to recount the details of Oryx's reign on the Dreaming City, I don't know if I would accurately feed that straight back to you. But what I would say is that even especially when I write lore for my character, I don't ever infringe on what is canon in Destiny. I use the whole Bungie leaves it pretty ambiguous for your guardian story to form itself. So I create small, meaningless interactions between my guardian and other characters so that it wouldn't have any implications on the larger Destiny.
So what kind of character is your guardian? Is she nice? Is she mean? Is she embrace the darkness? Look at that
Yeah.
smile. It's fanfic. You can tell.
It's not fanfic. Okay. Hold on. The closest I ever got to fanfic, the closest I ever got to fanfic, this is real, was during Season of Opulence. I wrote lore about how Kira was one day kind of fed up, I guess. Did Opulence give us last word, Quest? Or
Good question. I don't remember.
maybe?
Maybe.
I forget the context. I'll have to look it up. But the idea was she was going to Callus's ship because she kind of had it with whatever was going on at the tower.
You didn't get it nasty in that purple goo.
Yeah. Kind of. So she goes, and this is the closest I ever got to fanfic. She gets into the bathhouse,
Mhm.
and she
I like
gets
where this is going.
and she gets a massage from a scion. That's
Okay.
the closest I ever got to fanfic. And the idea was that Callus said, "Look, like, come on in, take a load off." Like, and I had the ghost translating between the scion and my guardian, and it was all broken.
Get us banned off Twitch, mate. Stop getting hot.
It was nothing weird happened. Okay, geez, I should.
Nothing weird happened aside from a bathhouse back rub by a scion.
Yeah.
Apparently, the scion was quite good at it.
Was it one of the old men scions? One of those. One of the old boys.
Which is less creepy? I
I don't
didn't
know if I
determine it
either.
in the
Really?
lore writing, so
Let's have two interpretation. Got it.
Now we got you.
you can decide what the
So what you're saying is you
Anyway.
like the lore.
I love the lore. It's great. I would say to answer your question, Kira walks the line. She hasn't fully embraced darkness, but she's vulnerable to it. She has a magnetic pull to, like, she won't abandon malfeasance. She uses it all the time. It's like, and she feels drawn to it.
Right. And do you read this out on stream, or can people partake in your character development?
Mylan wants to know where to find it.
Yeah,
On your
I'll type
OnlyFans or
in.
your YouPorn channel?
I house them on my Discord and on Twitter. I post them in threads on Twitter.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, I
It's fun.
like the most recent one I did was about I was awarded the Levante's Prize emblem for fashion during the Festival of Lost last year.
Nice.
And I wrote a little lore interaction about between Eva Levante and my guardian, and when she transferred the emblematic designator to Kira. They were from datapad to datapad, and they had a little hug, and like she's gonna miss her, and like they're friends, like she's her old auntie Eva.
Wow.
You know?
Right. Do you do a lot of fiction writing outside of Destiny, or is this like a bit of a passion, or?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I would say it's mostly Destiny for me. I like immersing myself in fictitious worlds. I watch a lot of anime, so you know,
good.
yeah, I love kind of escaping into different realities. I think to use an anime reference, if I could go comatose and play Destiny like the people do in Sword Art, I would do it every day. Probably to my own detriment.
These
Go into the
boomers don't
system.
understand, but we do.
I've watched season 1 of Sword Art. Thank you very much.
Mylan understands a little bit.
A little bit. A little bit. Wait, so when did you start streaming? The content creation side of stuff.
February 2017 was my first one. I just quit a job that I was not happy in, and my wife said, take a week or two before you really start hitting this, and try something fun for you. And I just got on to do. I had the most horrible setup you've ever. So streaming on an iMac, running boot camp,
Nice.
with a Windows partition, pretty legit.
Nice.
And just old webcam lying around the house. Like, hey guys, there was an audio video delay. My first stream, that was fun. I was playing Resident Evil 7, so every jump scare would happen for me, and then 3 seconds later in the game, so they had no idea what I was reacting to.
Spoilers.
The guy just standing there, like, what? Nothing happened.
That
And then
actually
what happened
sounds
later.
pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
I'd
please
watch
tell
that.
me. Do you have these VODs anywhere? Did you keep
I
them?
got clipped from that stream. Yeah.
Really? Okay. You have to post on Twitter so we can see later. My first stream setup, I was talking into a PlayStation camera. That was my microphone. I used to hold a PlayStation camera and read into that. And then I used to use the PlayStation to edit the videos, which were capped
Wow.
at 15 minutes, I think.
Wow.
And then transfer it to a USB. That was
Holy
my
cow.
first YouTube videos.
Editing
My
on
first
the
YouTube
PlayStation.
video, I had a quilt over my head and I was just talking into a laptop microphone.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you still have that?
I'm sure it's still up on my YouTube channel. You just gotta look at like the first couple of YouTube videos, and I was talking
I'm
to
gonna watch them.
a laptop under the covers to get rid of the echo.
I used to talk into a bucket. I've still got the bucket, like a bucket with audio
Bucket?
foam. I used to put the microphone. Yeah, like a tub, like a packing tub. I lined with audio foam, and then I put the microphone in that,
Wow.
and then I would like speak into it. So it got
That's
rid of
pretty
all
good. Did it work?
the echo. Yeah, that's what probably. Whenever I changed over this microphone, I got rid of it. But
Did you have to check
That
the
was-
bucket for spiders every time you put your face
Oh, yeah.
into it?
I used to shake it, and all the spiders and
Check it
snakes
for
would come out.
dingoes, You got a wild dingo in there. You never
Yeah,
know.
you guys got some meaty spiders,
Did
was
anybody
the
see
nasty
that clip
snake?
that came out last week of the two like there had to be 10-foot long snakes like they came into a restaurant
Fighting
and they
in a
were
restaurant?
mating.
No.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, they're
In the
huge.
restaurant?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the restaurant.
They were getting it on.
Supposedly they were fighting, and there was a female
They were
snake.
fighting?
Yeah,
Oh, I
there
thought
was
they
a-
were.
Apparently, there's a female snake close by, and so they were like trying to,
Oh.
wrestling.
wrestling in the
Wrestling.
the Panda Express.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's fanfic.
that is.
Definitely. Definitely. Especially Mylan's fanfic. It's got Australia written all over it.
Oh man. Teej, how do you feel about this seasonal model for Destiny right now? Since you've been from the beginning, like how do you like it right now? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, I've watched it. Everybody in this room has watched it change so much. So, I mean, since we had a very traditional model of the launch game and then 2 expansions
DLCs,
until the end, that stuck around for a while. And I think if we're talking about the seasonal model transitioning at Forsaken, and into what we have now, or even into what has its final form.
I'd say this
I guess,
past
is-
year, since
Okay,
we're in
yeah,
like
like-
the final
okay.
rotation of this year before the next big DLC.
Some I have really enjoyed,
Mhm.
and a couple have left me, wanting for a different experience. I think from a storytelling perspective, this season and our previous season of the Splicer have made me kind of like, okay, I like this now. And as long as this level of narrative continues, in this seasonal model, I'm super game. I was a pretty big hater on Battlegrounds. I didn't find it to be particularly interesting. I was pretty vocal about that from the start of it. Would just be, I would really like the cheeky dialogue at the very beginning and the very end, but the entire middle part, I'm like, I just didn't want to do it. But then, like, on the flip side of the coin, Override, I was very addicted to it. I thought it was, I don't know, maybe it's my ADD. Override was a little faster, a little snappier, a little more nonstop shooty bang bang instead of
grab the charge and chuck it at a battery thing.
Yeah. But I think overall I'm really happy with it. I think there's I like the idea of kind of, I know people complain about time gating and stuff, but I don't mind having chapters to read every week or chapters to experience every week. I think that's better than kind of blitzing it in a day and then forgetting it by the end of the season. Like, I think that's less impactful, less meaningful. But I think that they still have to do a little bit of work on the seasonal currency stuff. I've had that kind of feedback since Chosen. Really, just the idea of focusing umbrals was kind of, in my mind, pretty perfect in Arrivals, and it's kind of changed. Maybe the less great over the course of Chosen and Hunt and now Splicer and this one. So yeah. I was really bummed about the fix this week for the tier 3s, mostly. Oh.
Go for it, Mylan.
I was gonna say this. The story this season has a different feel, and I feel like there is a lot more theory crafting that's happening. And I think one of the big contributors to that is Ishtar Collective is usually where I read all my lore, because they grab the lore entries from the API and they put them up on the website. So previously you could go through and read every entry before they actually release, and you could get an idea of what's coming in future weeks. They've decided to not do that this season and to just have when they're available. And I think on a whole, it's been a really good experience because people haven't read all the lore entries from each lore book now. And so we don't know where we're going. So we see something now like, oh my God, that could be, like we don't know which way,
Exciting.
how we're going to get to the Witch Queen. And I think that's obviously really exciting. And it's actually, I think it's made a big impact on right now. Unless you actually are data mining it yourself, people probably don't know how the season's going to end, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the story is the biggest exciting thing for me every time I log into Destiny every week, or when the reset happens. Like, that's the highlight for me right now. What's unfolding? What is being pushed a little bit further? Hearing the more dialogue options from the Scepter, the Agar and Riga, and all that. Like, that's been super fascinating. Yeah.
A little conversation with Savathun each week.
And
a crystal.
Which, can we get into a little bit about what happened this week?
Yeah,
a little this week. Things are looking up.
Yeah.
Zing. Oh, Defty.
Where do we start this week? Do we start with the cutscene, or do we start with where should we start?
Oh. Wait. What cutscene?
You just mean the
one.
Did I miss the cutscene?
Yeah, that was last week. Like the big cutscene was last
thing.
week. Yeah, just the talking.
Yeah. Okay. I did make some notes. I think this season, week 1 always like kicks off with just like heaps of information, and then week 2 sort of quietens down a little bit. I forgot to pull up my notes, but one of the things that Savathun says that was probably the most interesting, you go to a crystal again, and she talks about you looking down and seeing the line between light and dark, which we've heard many times before. And on one side is the light, and the traveler on the other side is the darkness. And then you look up, and someone's been watching you since the beginning. And you're like, huh? And I guess she makes a distinction that when you're looking, like in this metaphor, when you're looking down, you see the light and the traveler, and you see the darkness, and you would assume the pyramid ships. So it sort of makes a distinction that there is something above the cosmic forces of light and dark that has
something
been
that she is also afraid of, right?
Yeah.
Or more powerful than her.
Well,
I
actually,
think Mara said she's scared. No, okay, that's a different.
That's from the Hive,
when you
right?
speak to Mara Sov, she talks about the Taken and someone controlling the Taken, and that's who Savathun's scared of. So it could be the same, or it could be different.
Right.
That was really interesting because I remember listening to it and they were like, someone controlling the Taken. And I was like, oh, Oryx is back. And she was like, not Oryx. I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
That
Clever
was
writing, because they assumed we all would think that and me. Oh, Oryx. And in the very next sense, by the way, it's not Oryx.
He's like, oh, never mind.
So that is, yeah, exactly. Like if it was like law quiz time, who created the Taken? I'd be like, Oryx did. And so I recently went back and looked at what exactly was said in the Books of Sorrow about when the Taken were created. And it essentially is, and I think this is what the community has repeated so many times, that we always just think that Taken didn't exist before Oryx. But it doesn't quite like say that in the Books of Sorrow. It says Oryx understood that the light gives and the darkness takes. And the Hive got given the worm, and they're trapped in this bargain. And so Oryx basically works it out. And he's like, okay, so if I want to get powerful, I need to take. He goes and sees the worm god Akka. And he goes, give me the secrets to the darkness, to the deep. And the worm gods go, no, those secrets for us. He says, exactly, I'm going to take them. So he kills Akka, the worm god. And after killing Akka, he then creates a Tablets of Ruin, which then allows him to commune with the darkness. He goes and has a conversation with the darkness, which is not documented. It very specifically says his conversation is not documented here. Oryx comes back, and he now crowns himself the Taken King. And he has the ability to take and create Taken, which we've always interpreted as he created the Taken. In the new dialogue for, I don't know if it's in the Shattered Realm. I think it's in the activity itself. You can get a Marasov dialogue piece that literally says, Oryx did not make the Taken, he borrowed them. Which is brand new to us. We sort of like haven't really understood this process before. He borrowed them from someone, and then now Marasov says the Taken are going back to the original masters.
So this is starting to set up, like, after the Witch Queen, we're going to actually, like, there is somebody bigger and badder, right, that is still behind the shadows, still yet to be revealed, right?
So I think you could go two ways, right? So if it's not Oryx, I would say, well, the darkness is the original master of the Taken, right? That's who he went to speak with to get the Taken. So that,
but
must
not just
be
like
the
an abstract,
original.
the darkness, like an actual, like somebody
Figurehead.
who is.
I guess so. Yeah. And we don't have a, well, we sort of do. The only sort of figures we have for the light and the darkness themselves comes from the Black Garden, which is the gardener and the winnower being a cosmic entity. And the gardener was all about creation, and the winnower is, they reap the crops. So they lived in a cycle of balance. And when that balance broke, that's when chaos formed in the universe and basically creation started. So the winnower would probably be the personification of the darkness, which we've never had any real descriptions of. There's a couple of cool bits in the Books of Sorrow where Oryx does speak to the darkness, and it sort of like drapes a cape on him and like almost gives him a back rub. Here you go for your fan fiction, mate. Oryx gives darkness gives a bit of a back rub.
Oryx was on the massage table next to Kira in the Leviathan.
Yes.
It was just a different masseuse.
Yeah.
Another
It's
Scion.
a massage parlor that everyone
yeah.
frequents, obviously.
Taken Scion.
Yeah. So I don't know. And then, of course, one of the things that I don't know if you saw this week as well, actually happened first week, is they added new dialogue to Override.
Heard about this, yeah.
What?
Oh, I didn't
Weird.
know that.
I didn't know that either. What was
and
the new
guess
dialogue?
what happens? Guess what happens with the new dialogues? They introduce a new enemy, which is similar to the darkness, that had been harassing the Fallen, and they call it Skira.
What?
Mithrak says there was this ancient enemy that used to basically harass us. And Ikora says Savathun. He's like, no, similar. And
Interesting.
and basically that they defeated it by not talking about it through silence, whatever that means.
Wow.
And it
It's
went
like,
away.
you know, when demons, they're not real unless you like think that demons are
Right.
real.
Say
Yeah.
Beetlejuice
Like
3
Voldemort.
times.
Like
Just
magic.
ignore it and it'll
curses.
go away.
Yeah.
Bloody.
So-
Well, let's not talk about it. Jesus.
Yeah, that's his name.
Maybe
Shut up. Twitter questions.
So it is super interesting that they very specifically added new dialogue to Override
It's very
when
interesting.
Season of the Lost dropped. And on Bungie's website, they talk about an ancient evil which is trapped in the pyramid ship in Savathun's throne world. We now have all this taken back to the original master. So it's sort of like, are these all pointing in the direction of actually seeing something new, a new enemy of some sort, whether it's a boss
very
or something
interesting.
else, or
So you're saying
Dunno.
it's trapped in Savathun's throne world. Does that mean that potentially Savathun has a way of controlling? Like maybe that's one of these connections of getting rid of the worm god to then control this other power that she has trapped?
the whole pyramid ship in Savathun's throne world is like uber confusing, and I don't know how to connect it yet because typically, right, you would go into a throne world to kill Savathun, to take her out in a throne world and to permanently kill her. In the live stream event, they say that there is a pyramid ship, a broken pyramid ship in Savathun's throne world, and she created the throne world in her own image. In this realm, the Hive have the light, and the creative director said the pyramid ship represents her rejecting the darkness. You then go onto the Bungie website and it says new raid, Witch Queen. And inside is imprisoned an ancient enemy. So I'm like, why would we go to Savathun's throne world to not kill her and go into a pyramid ship and kill something in there? I don't know how to connect the dots yet, and I don't think we know.
It's interesting you bring that up because we were talking about this the other day. That in that the entire reveal event and the trailers and everything else, you're seeing the throne world, you're seeing these Hive that are using light, but and they're mentioning new raid. It's like you said, but not once is there a teaser or text or bit of dialogue where Savathun says or suggests, "I'm going to destroy you for coming to my throne world and the Traveler and everything you know and love and the last city and all these things." She never says anything aggressive towards the characters in any of the marketing so far.
You
Which
saying
I
she
took
just
to
wants to
mean-
hang?
Right. Like we go there and sure,
He
like
wants
we're
to
going
get
in there like,
massages together, I think.
Yeah.
"Meh, you're Oryx's sister, so you gotta die and whatever." But like, I think it's almost a Callus situation where she wants us to go there.
You think she really is going to be a good character?
No, but I think that like Callus, it's gonna be ambiguous enough where we're gonna be like, "Do you have cool loot? All right, we'll make a deal for now."
I do like guns.
Craft something out of that worm of yours?
Yep. Yep.
Well, because
Um,
did we ever get a conclusion to the cutscene where we were in the garden, right, and we were looking at ourselves?
Right.
Like,
And the
who's
beyond
that?
light.
Was that the darkness talking to us, or was that Savathun? I
That's
never
the
remember
pyramid
that being
ships.
clear.
It's
So that
pyramid
was
ship?
the darkness.
I assumed it was
Yeah.
the darkness.
And then there's a person trapped in a pyramid ship.
So is that the ancient evil then?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen the pyramid ships. You know, I would say if you like did a hierarchy, you have the gardener, the light, then the traveler, and then on the other side you would say darkness, the winnower, pyramid ships. So, you know, is there something in like is a pyramid ship? If the pyramid ship's like the traveler, well, is there someone inside the traveler then? Like, does there have to be? I don't know.
Could it be a situation where, similarly to how the Traveler fled its situation, got to the last city, deployed the ghosts, and created guardians, is Beyond Light in the act of the darkness and the pyramid ships appearing in our solar system, giving us power and kind of recruiting us? Are they in danger? You would think, and they're also so well. It worked for the Traveler. Shoot, we could give these guys some powers, and they can help us next.
Well, if you believe the messages from the darkness in I can't remember which book it is. Someone will know. The darkness says that it was the light who broke the pattern, right? That the darkness is just doing what's in its nature, which is if you create stuff, you have to destroy stuff. You have to maintain the balance. Like it was the light that broke the rules. So in that sort of guidelines, you could argue that the darkness needs Guardians to stop being one-sided and to stop basically representing the light all the time. And, you know, we are contributing to the imbalance, which I sort of feel like could be where we're going in the final shape, which I think I spoke about last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it could, I mean, yeah. I've got other stuff too, if you want to hear other.
Really?
Tell us
Are
a
we in a
story.
law
Can I go
frenzy?
get
Lay
some
it
hot
down.
cocoa? Maybe a blanket?
Are we in a
Before you
law
do that,
frenzy
I just want
yet?
to ask you guys a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
If once we have a multitude of darkness subclasses, if there ever came a point in time where you were asked to choose a side permanently, and you only would have access to those subclasses for the rest of your time playing Destiny 2, what would you pick?
Darkness.
Yeah.
It's purely
I too would
utilitarian
pick
for me. Like I love the void. I like the void
I do love
subclasses.
Void, yeah.
So losing the void, like there has to be a really good other two subclasses in the darkness for me to be like, all right, I'll get rid of the light. Because the void is just nice.
I just want to play
Yeah.
with new stuff.
But if thinking about your moral compass, Briar, come on. Where are
Yeah,
you going?
this is less
Story,
about-
lore,
yeah.
the
Lore.
world.
I just want to know what's going on that side. I want to know what's in those
going
ships.
on. Whereas,
for
like,
me-
listen, pitch it to me.
For me, I definitely wouldn't care on the moral compass side. Be like, what's cool? I wouldn't. I'd be like, you know, what's giving me that vibe, that feeling?
Yeah. Well, it
Darkness.
comes back to that whole drifter thing where it's like, you know, what are you gonna be a snitch? You know, what like he
I
calls
am a
that forever.
snitch. That is true.
I wanted that to be a lot more of a permanent, like, I don't know. I wanted that to be bigger than what it was.
You
but
want a
I wonder if
consequence
they did
from it?
specific. That balance you're talking about, Mylan, like would they make the players, you know, weave in player decision to the how many players would choose dark and light and balance that out, you know?
Yeah.
What would that balance be?
I think they're moving away from. I think that's what final shape's going to be. I think they're moving away from good versus evil, light versus dark, and just being balance. Everyone wields everything. An enemy can come along that wields a light and can be a villain. An enemy can come along and wields a darkness, can be a villain. An enemy can come along that wields both light and darkness and can be a villain. Because then
That's
it's
what
just
the last
about
two seasons have been, right? It's really
pretty much
like
yeah.
gray areas. It's not just
Yeah.
light and dark. There's just this mixture of gray, right? It's
Yeah.
like not all fallen were bad, not all humans are good. Like
Yeah.
you know, we
I think that's what they're building towards. Yeah, yeah. Have you seen in Marasov's chambers the Ahamkara egg? Because I don't think I had a
Right.
chance to talk about that last week.
You did. You mentioned
Oh,
it.
did
I
I?
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you explained it though.
All right.
There was
Well,
theorizing.
anyway, there's an egg in there.
Good. Anyway, there's no. It's
Good luck.
hatching. There's babies in it.
Do I need to bring the witch
we-
under?
we
What-
theorized.
Well, what happened?
Right?
You
We
go
theor-
on.
Sorry, go for it.
No. Well, the only thing that's been new then is someone found a screenshot. There is a frame in the Season of the Lost trailer that shows the egg is upright and
Ooh.
it looks like a taken blight behind it, which looks very similar to the Shrine of Oryx. So there's probably something that's going to happen with the egg at some point. It's in the trailer and it's in a different spot with a taken blight behind it.
Wow.
Who's in the
So-
egg, Mylan? Who's in the
Who's
egg?
Baby
baby
Oryx?
dragon. Baby Ahamkara egg.
Riven
I
Jr.
think- Riven Jr.
Is it Riven's baby? If so, it might be pretty
we-
pissed at us.
We don't know how dragon babies are made, but maybe Tej can
We're
write
gonna need some
something for us.
fanfic.
Yeah, we need some fanfic on that.
I'd be happy to.
Good. What else? Oh, do you know what we also got is Hive Ghost. There. So we did hear about in season of the hunt. Basically, someone says that Crow was collecting dead ghosts from Spider and giving them to Osiris before obviously we knew Osiris was Savathun. You now also get, it's like Bungie is doubling down on that. You get a dialogue option in the activity where Marasov, I think it's Marasov, talking to Crow, and he says the same thing. So they're just making sure you know that Osiris / Savathun had dead ghosts, which might explain
No,
Hive
I didn't like
Guardians.
that motherfucker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dead ghosts.
Dead ghosts.
Could be necromancy, which what Savathun may have learnt from Nokris, which would lead the whole reason of season of Rivals, them working together, Nokris and Savathun learning necromancy, and maybe that was applied to the dead ghosts that she got from Spider. Hence Hive Guardians.
Necromancy is highly illegal in the Hive culture, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's why Savathun is a heretic. That's why she rejects the
That's why
darkness.
she's like, Osiris was doing it, not me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Obviously.
Not me.
It's like the cutscene she was in. She was like, yeah, I, did all this stuff. That was me. I did that.
Oh, I've got more. Are you happy for me to be so obnoxious and just
amazing.
keep spouting
Just-
I
laws?
love it.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it.
Feed me.
Okay, another theory for you. I think, I'm calling it now, I think Osiris is already dead and he's not coming back.
Interesting.
Now, I will give you my
Is he a worm?
rationale for this. If you read
not a
the lore on the new bow,
Oh, yes.
the new bow in the season, it has lore. It very, very, very much sounds like Osiris is possessed. Not that Savathun made a new Osiris and she was that, and his real body somewhere else. He is seeing through the eyes of his own body as Savathun puppets it.
Oh, so he's just a passenger.
It very much, the way it's described is he's a passenger, and he talks about trying to push through and like break free of like some sort of mind control, and he can't. And that's why it's really sad, because he's like screaming out to Saint 14, like, no, Saint, it's not me.
Oh,
And so he's,
no.
yeah, I know he's
That's really sad.
and when I read it, a lot of people go, oh, we need to save Osiris. When I read it, I was like, he's dead. He's done. Like, she possessed him after he lost Sagira, and he no longer exists. And if you go back with that mindset and you listen to when you first meet Mara and she's like, Osiris is still alive and stuff, and the things you say to Savathun, she just like sidesteps. Like Saint's like, he's alive, and she just like changes conversation. Like, and the other point is, do you remember, spoiler alert?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a gun.
Sidearm.
They
It
introduced
was sidearm, yeah.
sidearm.
Yeah, yeah.
They introduced it when Cade 6 died, and it said, and the spoiler alert is
That's
someone's got to die, and it came back this season.
Oh,
Oh, interesting.
that is interesting. Oh no,
Okay.
that's so sad.
Let me what is it called? Devil's advocate you.
Yep.
I'm reading a very exciting book series that may or may not have tainted this opinion, but we're gonna go with it
Okay.
anyway. Has anybody heard of Throne of Glass? Have you guys ever heard of this? Any of you guys?
I've heard of it.
No.
Okay.
I have heard of it.
It's like a fantasy series meant for young adults, and I will take no judgment for enjoying it myself. But throughout this series, there's this dark entity that regularly possesses people, and the book kind of dabbles in whether or not the soul or consciousness of that person is still present after a certain amount of time in that environment, because there are chapters written from the characters' perspectives of watching, like you just described with Osiris, watching themselves and do and experience this thing without any control, without any power, without any will of their own to change what they're seeing, but they just have to kind of sit there and be a part of it.
Yep.
And do you think it's possible that it's Osiris's consciousness being is still
Yes.
there and is completely out of control, and if Savathun were to ever fully vacate that his soul, his conscience could regain control
Yep.
of that
Yeah,
body?
yeah. I think the other way I would explain it is, maybe you have like a Tolan situation where he's like his soul is still connected, and that's how he's viewing it, which would also make a really cool ending to the season, where it's like Osiris's physical body is gone, but we've got like this Toland character. And the reason why I think this is like this week, they really doubled down on Saint 14 getting very emotional about not being able to find Osiris. So he's like, I'm searching everywhere. He's tearing apart the system. He like gets on comms, is like, wait for me, like I waited for you, right? And I'm like, they're killing Osiris. I know it. They're setting us up, man. They're getting us really invested in a pillar of the Destiny characters of Saint 14 being the toughest, baddest dude. And he's gonna get broken, and everyone's gonna be like, "No!"
And then he's gonna
my boy,
eat a baby Elixni, and then there's gonna be all hell break loose.
yeah,
Delicious.
he's gonna relapse.
He might.
Oh.
He might relapse and just go full on
Take out the
destructo
house
mode.
Full on Saint 14.
You think baby elixir are blueberry flavored? Off subject.
Definitely possible.
They are bluish.
Yeah.
Yeah, bluish.
Full of antioxidants.
That's me theories. I think I'm done. That's me theories.
It's great. It's super
Violence
fascinating. I
theory
love
corner.
where I love the unfolding that's happening.
Yes.
Pulling back
Yeah.
layers, you know, it's really cool.
The story is what's keeping me coming back to Destiny week after week right now. So I'm legitimately looking forward to running through the weekly story stuff and finding out what's going on.
Yeah.
Like last season was like this. This season, I think I'm surprised that I'm more interested in what's going on than I was last season because I was really into it last season. But this season is like
It's very
really
good.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's continued the story, right? Like
Yeah.
typically we get like these bubbles of narrative, which it sort of has a parallel story and it
they're not
slightly
contiguous.
contributes to like the overall arc. Whereas this has been very like the end of season of Spicer was a cutscene with Cyrus, which started this season. Like it's continuous, which is builds investment, I guess.
Yeah.
It does indeed.
But it also changes the tone, right? Like the characters are doing different stuff. It's almost like a season in a TV show where the same characters are there, but they're doing something new this season, right? There's a new big bad to fight or whatever. This is
like
an
when
interesting way of doing it.
When you found out certain characters were Cylons in Battlestar Galactica, like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
It's great. I've really been enjoying it. I look forward to it every week,
Same.
seeing what's going to unfold. But also knowing that Savathun is right there is, you know, like
Yes.
major
Yeah.
creep vibes, but also like the stakes are very high. She's all cocooned up, and like there's a lot of trust in Mara, right?
There's been a lot of build up to Savathun, and to have her like as part of the story like this is very
Odd.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not what I
Didn't see it
expected.
coming at all. Yeah.
And I was like, here's Savathun. Like,
Yeah. What's up?
it's like, hi guys. We're
Also,
friends.
I'd like whatever stasis ability Mara has that causes freeze to last that long. That would be pretty stellar. I'd be
Yeah.
Yeah, Savathun's on a
pretty
better
popular
right
in the
now.
Crucible.
Savathun's
able to
making an
survive in
angry
the
Twitter
PC lobby.
post about stasis needs to be nerfed.
Mara, I think this season Mara is being the sussy baka.
Yeah. Mara's
Yeah.
always kind of sus, right?
She's always been kind of sus.
She's
but
always been manipulative,
She's
right?
giving me extra
Yeah.
sus.
Yeah, I mean, is there any reason for us not to think that she might be not, you know, who she is or controlled in some sense? If it's possible, Osiris has been
I don't
controlled.
think she has to be controlled by anybody to be an asshole. Like she's
Yeah, she's kind of a dick, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the dialogue about
never
her
been
and her
nice.
brother, it's clear that she's an asshole.
She's an asshole.
Yeah.
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 Okay,
I think
okay, Mylan, do we
Well-
know why she can make a throne world and she's not evil?
well, she made a throne world using Riven.
Oh, it was
So-
okay. So it
So
wasn't
this is
her-
how it all ties in. Like you see, like all these other threads come back to this season. Like when we start seeing an armed Kara egg, and we think about the 15th wish and the curse in the Dreaming City. Like this week, Savathun's like, haha, like I can't undo the Taken because the curse because I'm no longer in control of the Taken. And guess what? The Taken are back to the original masters. And then you're like, okay, well, why's Mara so powerful? She had Riven. She created the Awoken Home, the Dreaming City. She created her own throne world using it. And in general, Mara was godlike from day dot. Like she, as a human, created the Awoken home planet from her sheer will, which is a general theme of Destiny, where you have these like Oryx. Like Oryx created a throne world from from Will. The first throne world that he created was just, I'm too strong to die, basically. And Mara is on that same pedestal of godlike characters. And I think that's why her character is the way she is like, these are peasants. Like these are play toys. These are like, you know, I'm a god.
It would be nice if our guardians would open their fucking mouth every once in a while and ask a follow-up question, right? Like,
Talk some
you
smack.
big dumb mute fuck. Ask a question. Like you're standing right there.
No, what
You
would our ghosts?
certainly don't
What would our
understand everything
ghosts
that's
do?
going on. Yeah,
I do wonder
our
why
ghosts
the
used to
ghost
talk
has
all the
been-
time.
Yeah, Ghost doesn't really.
I
have
think they
much
just
to
like took it out
contribute.
now, right? It's like they want
Yeah.
you to feel like you're in the story instead of the ghost talking for you or something. I don't know.
Now it's just nobody talking now.
It just
Nobody.
feels like
Stand
you're
there like-
bystander.
We're observing.
Yeah.
In a really, really selfish way, I never want that to happen because I don't want to have to do like 10 playthroughs of doing different dialogue options. Like, and if you press B and you
Yeah.
get this dialogue option, she says this. No, thank you.
What was the game? Was it maybe it was Anthem? There was a game that gave you dialogue options, but
Anthem
ultimately
did have it,
didn't
I think.
really matter what you said.
didn't really matter,
change
yeah.
the
Oh,
story.
that's like every
Yeah.
RPG.
Yeah.
Like Destiny could get away with something like that, right? Where the response is ultimately the same, but you could add your own little sentiment to it. Either I'm going to be nice or I'm going to be a dick. But like the
Yeah.
character will still be like, and I'll tell you what you want to know anyway.
If
Like,
you're a dick enough, then you get like black veins in your face.
ooh.
I think we'll find out something about Sagira too, because the lore book this week, actually Mithrax, Saint 14 goes to Mithrax to try to find Osiris, and Mithrax says the Vex may have notes on all the defeated ghosts. Let's go into the network and see if we can find a record of what happened to Sagira.
Fascinating.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would
she's
allow any excuse
tied up
for
somewhere,
Miranda
I think.
Bachran to come back to Destiny.
What's that?
I would allow any excuse for Miranda Bachran to come back to Destiny.
Mm.
That would be
Yeah. Yeah.
fantastic.
So this is going to tie into what I think this will all tie into: is Osiris really alive or is he really dead? What exactly did Savathun do during? Did she possess him? Did she just take his form? Is Osiris a Toland like soul floating around? Is Sagira really dead? Does Sagira become Savathun's ghost? I think there'll be something
Yeah,
like that.
question, because like
Mm.
so is Savathun actually taking ghosts from or getting these dead ghosts for potential reanimation? Is that just hinted or is it definitely happening?
No, it's only just hinted. Like that's all.
'Cause
The
what
only
if-
thing we know is we get dialogue about it.
Yeah, what if she did take Sagira and reanimate Sagira
Oh yeah,
and
that
then
can become her ghost.
or maybe there's some sort of Osiris connection with that, and Osiris is officially forever different because of it being connected to new
that
dead
would be a
reanimated
pretty-
Sagira.
crazy reveal as you meet Savathun out of a cocoon and she's just there with Sagira. And you're
That's
like,
where Peter Dinklage has been all the time.
Bring Peter back.
Wait. Osiris is the imprisoned in the pyramid in Savathun's throne.
So he'd be
Dun,
the
dun,
boss
dun.
of the raid.
Because
Dark
she's
Sagira
gone
and
mad.
Dark Osiris.
Hmm.
We're gonna fight the gold clones with panoptes and all.
I think. Oh yes, Chats actually has corrected me. I was meant to bring this up. In the auto rifle for this season, it talks about Savathun's song, but it also talks about Savathun when she went to possess Osiris, crawling over the shadow remains of a ghost. So that's probably the best evidence that Sagira's actually done. Dead.
Okay.
Then again, she could still reanimate it. I don't know. Like that's
she
a
has
whole.
necromancy now. Who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it is referred to as shattered because we actually got a lore entry about Savathun's song in there too. Like Shax realizes that Savathun's in the Ahamkara skull, and then she like whistles the song to him, and he like just like stops. He's like, oh, just like forgets about what he was like looking at.
Scary, man.
Yeah, that's pretty spooky.
It's pretty spooky. It's like Savathun is kind of everywhere. And we don't know what's real or what's not and what's actually happening or what's being influenced. We kind of just have no idea what the hell is going
Yeah.
on.
That's why I also don't really trust Mara at the same time. 'Cause
I don't
it's like-
trust her at all.
Like, first it's Mara, but also
That whole family is fucked up.
yeah, don't trust that family. Period. But also, there's a lot of connection with Savathun. You're like, I'm gonna need to see some paperwork here to
Dude,
verify
she
these
stands
documents.
20 yards from the thing every day.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
and
She
it
is
just
chilling with
talks
Savathun.
through the chrysalis to you. So she's
They're
definitely
just
talking
there
with it.
together, like in the same
Like,
room all day,
All
just
day.
hanging out.
Mhm. So,
Yeah.
Mara, get some air.
Girl
Touch
talk,
some
you know.
grass.
girl talk.
Yeah, Mara tells her Corsairs if they hear Savathun's song to shoot it, to kill themselves, basically.
Wow.
Like, that's how concerned she is with Savathun's song. And we've got, like,
Is Savathun
Shax.
in the chamber singing all day? When she was coming?
yes, Shax is singing it in the shower. Crow is singing it while he makes lunch.
Crow's still whistling it on the helm. I'm pretty sure those Corsairs are dead already.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Just next time you teleport to the helm, there's just dead Corsairs everywhere. They've all blown their own brains out.
Yeah.
Crow walks up. Anybody want... Oh no.
Everyone's gone.
Everyone's dead.
Was there anything in the TWAB we wanted to go over?
There wasn't much.
I didn't read it, but I heard it was a light boy this week.
It was very,
Yeah,
very
little-
light.
Little tiny one. They mentioned like a couple of weapon nerfs, right?
Yeah, if I recall correctly.
They did talk about. We can go through it quickly. So the Team Rubicon charity thing, they raised over $200,000 in direct
Damn.
donations. So
GG's.
Awesome.
that is awesome. And then they just give some information on the shirts. If you did order one of the shirts, 4 to 6 weeks, it will be shipped to you. So you can do that. They also go over the Dr. Lupo thing that he did, where they were
Oh,
playing
real quick,
an orchestra.
the deadline for that isn't over either. You can still donate to that.
Oh, is it
to
not
get
over?
the rewards, yeah.
Says September 1st.
Where I'm seeing it says September 30th at 11:59.
Is that for the shirt?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
for the shirt. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So there's two things. There's the emblem, and that is over now for the emblem. That was I think that is done. And then yeah, the shirt says that because the shirt has done so well, they extended the deadline until September 30th. So you are correct.
Which emblem was that? That was the
The red one with like the
little axes.
yeah, the little axes on there.
I think it's
And then
cool.
there's also the other emblem for the t-shirt if you pre-order the t-shirt. So it's two things. And then yeah, there was the Lupo event, which you should check that out because that was really cool. They had him
Super
playing
cool.
through the raid and then the orchestra playing the music, which was crazy.
That's
It's
insane.
awesome.
So cool.
Absolutely nuts. And then yeah, so the thing you're talking about is a little too hot is a quick weapon fix. So the Lorentz driver, which is the new linear fusion rifle, they say
Lawrence driver?
typically Lorentos.
Adam Driver's
Laurentis.
brother.
Yes.
Lawrence?
Typically, when we make an exotic, we start from the position that its gameplay fantasy should work in all game modes and then dial it back. Its core fantasy is receiving bounties, hunting them down, and collecting a reward, and the target markers are key to this, so we opted to keep them at launch and see how it played out. Turns out that a change is definitely needed, so we've removed the target markers from players to remove the free info you get in PvP. So it's exactly the same in PvE, it's just not going to randomly mark people in PvP.
Sounds smart.
I think it sounds like a good idea. And then a little note about Iron Banner weapons. All Iron Banner weapons from Season of Arrivals onwards have been able to use the new Iron Banner perks. These perks were left out of the 2 brand new Season of the Lost Iron Banner weapons, so we've picked one perk that we feel works well for each of them and added it to the second trait column. And a bunch of bugs and bug fixes, pretty
What
much.
perks were those? Like
Nice.
the Iron Reach, Iron Grip? Is that what I was talking about?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Have you guys been playing Iron Banner?
Yeah.
Briefly,
Brief.
I logged in with my 1200 and I think 60 power level warlock. I was like, oh right, there's power. Power is on in this. I was like, I swear to God, that guy with the messenger just one burst me. That's not possible. It must have been the netcode. Oh wait, no, he probably did actually. So I quickly exited and went to regular Crucible.
Have you guys been enjoying the season with it?
I've heard the sidearm is really good. I haven't had one.
Sidearm is very good. So three burst
had one yet.
sidearms tend to be really strong. They have a little bit better range. Do a
I
lot
had
of
one
damage.
drop for me. I didn't try it out yet.
It's good.
And if you ask
Yeah.
True Vanguard, it's the only sidearm he's ever going to use
Yeah.
till the end of time, apparently. So
The one.
Right.
the
He's a
one-
Yeah,
big
it's
sidearm fan though, isn't he?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But he's talking about this like it's the second coming of sidearms. He's really like he's obsessed. It's
Maybe
What,
he's
do you know the
hearing-
roles? What do you want on it?
I don't know what he got, but I got it. What is mine? I have it right here. Let me see. It's I got Headstone, I think, on mine, which actually I'm pretty excited about.
Oh yeah,
Headstone's fun. Yeah.
yeah, Killing Wind.
That makes him
Headstone
a
is made, so
stasis
that-
crystal, right?
Yeah.
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 That's
nice.
a cool perk.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty fun. Little sidearm, close range. You can get enough crits with it too. I think it's not too terrible to get the crits with it.
Yeah, 3-burst sidearms are a little bit easier to consistently hit headshots, and you can do cool things like if someone's standing next to the person you headshot, they also freeze. So, because
Cool.
you proc a crystal on them. Apparently,
you and your
TV
friend, too.
sidearm is rangefinder swashbuckler.
Well, that's nasty.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I feel like
That
I got a
sounds good.
swashbuckler
Nice.
on mine. I don't know what else the perk was though. Forget. I'll have to try it out.
It's not IB, but the new Vulpecula hand cannon's been my baby.
To go to.
That's
Yeah.
been-
Yeah.
Yeah, the new perks are fun. I like
Yeah.
them.
Nice.
I rolled Encore Adagio, which synergized just, I mean, chef's kiss. That is like, you get a kill, you don't even have to reload, and you just got 2 really awesome perks just ready to rock for a little bit. I highly
Nice.
recommend hunting that roll down.
Very nice. In Iron Banner, have you guys been doing freelance or team squad type of stuff?
I never do freelance. It's always a disaster, or at least whenever I go there.
Agree.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I've been jumping in with crossplay, so I've been playing with the Twitch chat recently,
Crossplay is
which is
great.
nice. I mean, it's not a nice experience because it's Australia plus the rest of the world, so the connections aren't the best. But it's been nice to play with people. That's been fun. And then
Yeah,
what I
how-
normally do is just to make sure we roll everyone is if you score lower on the leaderboard than me, you get banned from chat for 24
Nice.
hours. And you should see
Nice.
people work. People work really hard when you give them that incentive.
I like it. You guys said you don't like the freelance playlist. Why is that?
Yeah, I'm
It's
curious
super
why.
sweaty.
Super
Sweaty.
man. Yeah.
Super,
Because
super sweaty.
matchmaking is on.
No, it's matchmaking works the exact same in both playlists. It's just a tooltip thing that's written incorrectly. It's just your average player does not pay attention to the node. They just pick the big node and press play. So the people who are choosing to go in freelance tend to be a little bit more invested in the game, a little bit more aware of what's going on. And they go there
Nice way
to
of putting
like
it.
stomp individual people. Like that's mostly the reason why people are going there. I just want them to
To
switch
stomp?
the things around. I just want them to switch it around.
So my experience is
The
definitely
big one
not
freelance.
No,
Oh,
they
yeah.
should just switch it. They should switch it around because if you're in a group and you hit the big button and it's like, this is a solo playlist, you're like, oh, okay, I'll go press the other one. But if you're solo, you're not going to know either way. You're not going to get anything that's like, hey, you should go on the other playlist. So I would really like them to switch it around.
Yeah, I think they could definitely make it more obvious for people, and so because I could see some people just being like, freelance, what? I'm not freelancing in this game. What? I'm just gonna go to the regular Iron Banner. Like, I could see people not paying attention, just like you're saying. But I find it to be super like overtly balanced. Like the first game for me, I lost, and it was 126 to 126. I was like, what?
Sweaty.
So it's like highly balanced teams that rarely is there like a blowout. Very rare. It did happen. And then it was like, oh, our apologies. We screwed up. We're breaking up these teams. Let's get you a extremely well-matched freelance experience. So I don't know. It's weird. Like if you take it super serious, if you're the person that like desperately needs to win, then I think freelance can be frustrating because I think it is harder to consistently win because everybody is evenly stacked up. So it's kind of like flipping a coin sometimes. But if you're looking for a relatively consistent experience, I feel like freelance does a good job of that. It's consistently difficult.
That's why I don't go there.
I'm with you, Watts. I think it's too sweaty. I think it's too gross. A little damp.
I feel like I'm
Yeah.
playing the same. It's almost like I'm playing the same person every single game because they're using the same weapons, they're using the same exotics, they're playing the same way. So I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna go into the regular Iron Banner. It's mostly solo people in there anyway because they don't know about the freelance thing. Yeah.
Interesting. People are saying they get mercied all the time in freelance. I mercied one team, and then everything else has been stack. You know, like it's super close.
Yeah, I haven't played enough freelance to be honest. Not this season anyway.
Yeah, I feel like when I play regular Iron Banner, it's a lot more lopsided mercying. It's like that was a mercy, this was a mercy, and it keeps going back and forth on the regular Iron Banner.
Yeah,
that
Oh,
hasn't been
there's
my experience this
More
season.
people in there.
Like this last season, yeah, it was blowout after blowout one way or the other. But I think this season we've been a lot of those, like as a team, as a stack of 5 or 6 have been, you know, in those 125, 120 matches, and you got to play your buns off if you want to pull the W.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Freelance though, I get my proverbial shit pushed in. It's not great.
Interesting. I feel like it's so weird because like my experience is it's hyper balanced, and then it's a crapshoot with the team stuff.
There's a lot of with the skill-based matchmaking stuff, like there's certain people I don't want to play against and they don't want to play against me. Neither of us want to play against each other. I've played so many Iron Banner games where people
Are
don't
you talking
know
about Mylan?
Dear diary, on day 2,
Yeah.
I was bullied again.
Now you
by
understand the
my
graveyard.
podcast.
Now you get it. Now you get the graveyard. It's yeah, there's people who you can stand right next to them. They have no idea. Not a damn clue that you're there. You could stand there for a minute. They don't have a clue that you're there. Like, I don't want to play against them. They don't want to play against me. So I wish there was something that kind of protected, you know, those types of people that maybe are new to Destiny or new to FPS in general from the rest of the world.
I will say I played Radiant Cliffs 4 times in a row, and then I was like, I'm done with this game.
That's fair.
That's too bad.
I was like,
Not a
again?
good time.
I guess that's my signal. I don't need that pinnacle. No, thank you.
But it took me maybe 2 hours to finish the quest and the bounties, so it's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Especially on a warlock. Ability kills, you get it done in like 2 seconds.
They're practically free.
They are free.
Yeah.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
I love being a warlock. It's so much easier.
It is easier to be honest.
Did they lessen the requirements for those pinnacle bounties? Do you think? Because I definitely felt like it was.
I think
quicker
so.
This week. Yeah. Like
I feel like they had
Oh,
mentioned
pretty
it,
fast.
right? Yeah, that they were. I could be wrong, but I feel like they adjusted it.
the quest
Yeah.
was way easier.
Hmm.
Like the
They shortened that
armor
for sure. Yeah.
quest thing. Yeah, that was like get this done in an afternoon, not the course of the week.
Yeah.
You guys want to do some questions?
Whoa.
Did we talk everything that happened this week? I guess that was it, right?
I think so. I will say that the Shattered Realm this week, I really
right.
enjoyed it.
Yes.
And
I
I
did
also
too.
enjoyed the astral alignment thing, like with the trickster. The trickster was
Oh,
in
yeah,
there, and
trickster
you
boss
shoot
is really
the fake
cool.
ones, and then eventually find the real one. I really liked that. I thought that was really cool. And then it was the Tangled Shore in the Shattered Realm this week, which was
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
definitely got lost. I thought it bugged out for me because it said align the beacons. I did 2 of them, and then it was like, keep aligning them, man.
Oh,
going.
yeah, at the
I'm
end.
gonna tell
yeah.
you guys.
Keep going.
I was
You got
watching
this.
Fran do that. He was in there for quite a while, and it was very fun.
Oh
Watch
man,
Fran.
was that when was that? Because that VOD's probably still up.
Oh yeah, this was like not last night, the night before.
Perfect.
And he was he'd get
Got
to
my
the spot. You know the
nighttime
ladder?
viewing ready to go.
You know when you get to the ladder and you go up the ladder? He would get to that area of the ladder and go, it's not that way. I'm not
No,
supposed to take that.
Guardians can't climb ladders, so it can't be
Guardians
that
can't
way.
take ladders. So he'd find the most obscure rock and go, this is the way. The obscure rock is definitely the correct way. and it was my favorite thing. This is why we watch Fran. We watch Fran for the panic, I'm lost and confused
The
content.
It was
frantic
not
Makes me very
obvious.
happy.
though. When I went up there, I thought I was finding some like new secret area, like something that Bungie had hidden, because it was not clear that we were supposed to go up there. And there was a ladder, and you walk up to the ladder. Of course, your guardian can't climb it, so you only if you notice the ledges that you could jump on, then you're fine. But
You know, this
Yeah.
is why before, right when I think it hit 10 a.m., the Destiny the game Twitter put out a tweet like, "There's lanterns. They're lit up. You can follow them because there's lanterns. You should follow them." So I think that's why I didn't get lost, is because I was like, I saw the tweet about the lanterns, so I just followed the lanterns, and it was a lot easier.
I got
Yeah,
lost.
that area is pretty big. It was a big.
I
it's
got
a
lost.
Big area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got lost as well.
I cheated. I asked Briar because I was doing it right before the show started.
Follow the lanterns.
Where's the third one? Up. Oh, nice.
Okay, so maybe inside the pyramid ships it's just a bunch of ladders. Ancient enemy.
Maybe
we're
that
fucked.
would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And they've taken Cabal, but only the drop pods. So you're constantly trying to climb the ladders, and there's
Taking
just
drop
taking
pods.
drop pods dropping on
Oh.
you.
Yep.
It's gonna be a
That's
bunch
it.
of little pebbles from Destiny 1, so we can't get our footing. We're constantly like, thinking we're jumping, but it's actually our second jump.
It's Wipeout Destiny Edition.
Yes.
Uh,
I play that.
yeah, I think the Shattered Realm has been really great. They've done an awesome job with that, and I like seeing the rotation
Yeah.
of it and the different boss stuff that's in there. That was cool.
Yeah,
It feels a lot
I've
more
really enjoyed it.
streamlined with like upgrading your compass, and then obviously that links to the Shadow Realm with what like abilities you can unlock. So you can now you can go through walls. Now you can have true sight and see. I assume you see hidden platforms. Actually, haven't been
Yeah,
back
hidden
in since then.
platforms. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hidden
yeah.
platforms, which is I think quite nice compared with last season, which was what you shoot enemies, you get unbound ether, you get ether, you convert ether to codes, you could complete an activity, codes go to data, then you use the data for the upgrade. Now it's like you kill stuff, you get parallax trajectory, and that's what you use.
That's
for
it.
everything,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, but
You
that
upgrade
cap,
stuff with it. You
Yeah.
get
That cap. That
what?
1500 cap.
The
gotta
cap
go.
is rough.
Oh,
Gotta go.
yeah. I think that's probably the only complaint, right? Is maybe the cap.
Yeah.
10K.
but-
9999. There's your cap.
There you go. Right. But I do want to say though, in that Shattered Realm, what they could have done is just instead of, because it went from align the beacons 0 out of 2, so then you do 2 of them, then it still said align the beacons, and that's why I thought it was bugged. That's why I thought the instance was broken. So I was like, I got to redo this. They just needed something that says find the final beacon or something, or like climb the
Search.
whatever.
Search the
That confused
area.
me last week too.
Yeah.
Did they do it
Last-
last week? For the
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't get confused last week, so maybe I didn't pay attention to that.
Last week I found it more confusing than this week. This week I was prepared for it.
You saw that ladder?
Like, oh, I'm gonna get confused. That's ready.
Take note.
Take
Be
note.
prepared.
This is gonna be confusing.
Last week that portal was pretty obvious though. You finished the second one, you like look down, you're like, that's
Yeah,
a
you can see
portal.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very obvious. Yeah, this week it was like, where to now? Hmm?
And I think it's just that's because Destiny always holds our hand when it comes to
True.
a waypoint.
It's
And if
true,
it was
yeah.
if it was more of this, people would know. Okay, there's going to be some sort of game design that's going to lead me in the right direction, like lanterns,
the lanterns,
or
yeah.
a portal or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just because I'm slamming tab. You go like, "Where's the waypoint? Where's the waypoint? I don't know where to go."
Yes. Yeah. Well, also things bug out in the game quite often.
Yeah.
So like you have a little bit of that going on too. Yeah. We need Dark Souls
Yeah, good,
to test the
Tuffy.
experience. I intend to.
Great. Well, you're on the best class for it now, right?
Yeah, the
True.
bestest. Warlocks
Yeah,
are
the best-
awesome.
the best.
Totally not smelly.
Warlocks are the best.
I love eating grapes.
Not
Eat grapes.
licking grapes
piss,
and peeing everywhere. That's
piss my
definitely-
pants. So then I got my health back. Just stand out in the open, like taking damage and killing things.
Yeah.
Easy mode.
It's pretty funny not being able to be frozen in the well anymore. I know Dimitri was saying he was using it in PvP, and a revenant hunter threw the tornado while he was in a well, and the
Oh.
tornado is just spinning. It's not doing anything because it can't freeze him, and the well is out healing the damage of the tornado.
Fascinating, huh?
Really?
I have
Yeah.
to try
Does
that.
the- Does the sword take the tornado's damage?
The sword can be frozen. Yeah. So I
Ah.
probably, but
Okay.
you can't be frozen.
Interesting.
Yep.
Cool.
Pretty cool.
The peat warms you.
It does.
Yeah,
It's warm.
it's a tonic.
Are you guys, as your warlocks, are you specking into resilience now to make your well stronger? Now that we have like a tank class in Destiny?
No.
I have not.
I don't.
Nope.
I spec'd into discipline to have my grape back faster.
I also have discipline, so I can use bottom tree dawnblade and explode things.
Yeah.
Explosions are fun.
I like that.
I'm still using blue gear, so I'm just getting new gear every day.
Briar's living the good life over there.
Yeah. What's your level, Briar?
I
1260?
think I hit 1280 today.
That's a soft. Wait, no, 1270 is a soft cap, right?
1270 is soft. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week I
Congratulations.
was at like 1255.
I'll run you through some DSCs, homie. Get you up that 1300.
I'll tell you what the problem is I switched to the warlock and it was at 1100 because the last time I touched it was when there was like a pull everything up to 1100 event. So I had to just like start from scratch at the beginning of the season, and some of the stuff was hard, like trying to get through some of the stuff at such a low level. Obviously I could bring all my weapons over from my hunter, so the progression has been much faster. But it's been hard. It's been slow progress. I cannot stand doing strikes anymore. Like the gambit, like going to get the stuff, like the what are they called? The powerful engrams from gambit and from strikes. I'm just not
Ritual
interested
activity.
in running the same strike for the billionth fucking time.
I'm with you.
They really need to refresh the playlist and like where those prime engrams are coming from,
Yeah.
because I'm just like, that's my biggest problem with seasonal content, I think, is that we get like an hour or two of new content at the beginning of a season, and then okay, go run some strikes, go run some gambit, go run some crucible. I'm just like, I just can't be fucking bothered.
Yeah, for as
Yeah,
amazing
good, Briar.
as amazing as the
What's that?
story stuff has been, as amazing as the story stuff has been, the ritual activities definitely feel stale. Because like it's cool to like see this new stuff.
Insanely stale.
Yeah, and then you see this new 6-man activity and the Shattered Realm. You're like, oh, this is feeling like Destiny. And then it's like, let's go back to the same strikes and same PvP.
It's like an hour and a half after the season launches. That's what's so disappointing about it,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think if
that-
you just play it casually, though, like super casual, it's in an amazing spot. It's really rough if you want to play it all the time. And then, like, of course, I know some people who have no problem with it. They're fine with like the little adjustments in the ritual activities, and that's great. That's great that you feel that way. I definitely feel fatigued from the same activities. Although I do feel good playing Gambit. Surprisingly, I've given Gambit so much crap over the years, but I really have.
FD is a Gambit Warlock main.
It's funny. The shorter they
I've
make
flipped
each Gambit game
Gambit.
last, the more Tefty likes it.
It's
I
amazing.
know.
I go in, I
No.
shoot these guys. Sometimes someone
No.
invades. You know, it's a little challenge, a little standoff.
I don't
Smoke
mind
the
Gambit.
boss.
There's a
I
lot
don't
of
like it.
ads. You get to shoot a lot of things. Lots of things die. And when he goes, "You wake up pissed today, sister," or whatever he says.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I did. Thanks.
Yeah.
I like that.
I was a Prime addict, so this version of Gambit is just
Oof.
vanilla
For
pudding.
babies.
It's just, it's not there's nothing interesting about it.
It's for babies.
Wow. Interesting.
And
I
the
don't like
boss melt
Gambit.
mechanic is like so. Like the most exciting part about what was Prime was just how much back and forth you could do in the boss phase. Those invasions mattered, and like now it's like you might get one invasion where you heal nothing, even if you kill all 4 guardians, and then they just launch 4 titans at the boss and he's dead, and it's like, well, cool. Like if I should
Interesting.
have just stayed back with my team and done more DPS, we might have actually won.
Yeah.
I don't know
Talking
why
of
I jumped in or not.
DPS,
Doesn't matter.
has anyone used 1,000 Voices yet with the particle disruptor?
I know that it's nuts.
It's busted.
I've seen people using it.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but what do you think about that? Because it seems like each season there's that bottom right-hand corner, like, was that where Breach and Clear was as well? Is always going to be this is the meta. Like last season it was breach and clear grenade launchers were your DPS, and now it's like fusion rifles. So like fusion rifles gets a bit of time in the sun. Is it good or is it not so good having like it almost dictate what you need to use?
I don't know if there's any way
Through
to
the
truly
seasonal
get away from
artifact.
that. I feel like
Yeah.
that's like a symptom of the fact that a sandbox exists. There always has to be something that's on top. Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
going to be boring if they're all equal.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah, the alternative is like unattainable, right? It's like the alternative is that all weapons do absolutely the equal amount of damage. It doesn't matter what you're using. It's going to do exactly the same amount of damage as what everybody else is using, and that I think would be boring and impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I sort of agree. I think it encourages people to use something that they maybe wouldn't use and gives weapons a viable way to be, a great DPS strategy
Yeah.
or a meta for a season, and then it like it's the artifact that makes it that way. So they can make something batshit crazy and then it's not again.
Yeah.
And then
For how
obviously
many
people use
years
it.
was like standing at the back of the map with a sniper rifle the way that you took down raid bosses?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you think
I'm glad it's not that anymore.
Could they bring back Whisper's old perk?
In this meta.
Like, because we don't have infinite reload with warlocks anymore, and we don't or no reload with warlocks anymore, and
Right.
could they create that magic ammo out of nowhere? Could they bring back rewarding players for consistently hitting crits with this new boss design? All this, we don't have a lot of fat crit spots anymore.
Right. I feel like that's always a problem when you basically get it for free. There was never a point where that wasn't an issue for Bungie, and they always had to eventually squash it. So I don't think, I think it would eventually be a problem again. It would end up being the choice.
Over 1K?
Well, that's true. I mean, 1K right now, but like that, once that expires though, in the next season,
Sure.
then they have to deal with the fact that the sniper has infinite ammo.
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially infinite.
Yeah.
If you get good.
I mean, if you're on mouse and keyboard.
Oof. I'm not.
Yeah, it's trivial to use that with mouse and
Too much
keyboard.
Xbox. I can't. I mean, I'm 30 some years old. I'm not going to relearn input. Are you kidding me? No.
I did, and I'm still learning.
No. Can't do it. Can't do it. It's my pride on the line, because then I'll suck in Crucible for like a solid 2 months, and I'll rage quit the game.
And should we do those questions, Brian? You got them?
sure.
The Twitter questions?
Map Show says, "How are you? Awesome and happy all the time." She's talking to you, clearly.
Me?
Yeah.
Who?
How am I awesome and happy all the time? Mav, first of all, you are part of the reason. You're such a light and a shining light in the darkness. No, I don't know. I think that I try to have a glasses half full attitude. I think there's always going to be opportunities for us to see. We're being bombarded from 19 different sides of our lives every day with everything that's wrong with everything, and it's very easy to get caught up in that and trapped in it. It's not to say that that I'm happy all the time. I appreciate the sentiment, Mav, but there are definitely days that I don't feel like jumping for joy. But I think it's just looking at the greater circumstance and being able to find the bright spots and create focus points for yourself on those. Makes life living easier. A little bit easier for me to be able to do that.
Now, really tell us why you're happy is because of the fanfic, right?
The fanfic.
I thought it was
yeah,
because he was like mainlining meth all the time.
always. Yeah.
I think it has to do with the Master Chief statue right behind him.
Could be.
The
Could be.
fanfic about the Master Chief
About
statue.
the Master
Yeah,
Chief
it could
statue,
be
yeah.
that.
Yeah. really did.
They probably sell those somewhere on the internet.
You can get fanfic about Master Chief for free.
I guarantee.
Lego says, "Hell yeah! What's your favorite voice to do, and what's the most difficult?"
Oof. My favorite to do is Shaxx.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, Briar's like, and I'm waiting.
Let me just take a sip of the juice. Relax, Guardian. You're scaring them.
That's pretty
really
good,
good.
man.
That's great.
Good.
That
very
is
good.
good.
Awesome.
But mine is like, maybe I
That's
do want to
good.
read my fan fiction.
The most difficult one for me to do is, and it's not like it's my least favorite, but the most difficult one that takes me the most takes when I do the videos is Drifter. I like doing Drifter, but Todd is such a good voice actor, and his rasp is very difficult to mimic. Because sometimes I catch myself when I watch him back for the ones, the takes I don't use, and it ends up I sound like a chain smoker from Rochester or something, and I'm like, well, that's not what I wanted.
Let's hear it.
Calling out Rochester. Jesus.
Listen, I went to school in Rochester. I had 5 years living in the heart of Rochester, and let me tell you something. That it is every bit America's armpit that they tell you it is. Okay, it is not a fantastic place.
Wait, are you not going to do the Drifter?
Yeah, we need to hear that too.
Yeah,
we
you-
need to
Apparently, we need
okay.
Ashton Mir as well, according to chat. And any more requests, guys? Let
I
me
mean,
know.
even just a stab is fine.
Ash really put me on the spot. It's not going to be. Listen, the good
It's
ones
fine.
aren't the videos that I've edited and put on the internet. I'm sorry. Were they saying something? Because they're dead now.
Really
feel like
good.
I'm playing-
Good.
I'm
That's
playing
good.
Gambit.
That's really good. So Tefty's like, whoa, Gambit. Yeah.
Feeling it.
That's great.
Baby X Pete says, Teej, who are the Mixer Destiny champions?
In December of 2018 or 19, I don't remember, there was a Mixer-sponsored cash prize Destiny tournament.
Oh.
And my team and Babe and Pete's team faced off in the final match. We went down to, it was survival. We went down to the final kill, the final body. What happened was I was the last Guardian standing for my team. Babe and Pete had 2 Guardians left on their team. And Pete and I killed each other with 0 lives left on either team. So by default, their random teammate left standing won the tournament.
Oh,
Brutal.
that's rough. We're undefeated, so we don't know about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we know
what
nothing of
loss
loss.
feels like. I can only
Gotta be
imagine.
It's gotta be nice. Yeah.
Sam says, what was the moment in the story or lore of Destiny that made you go, holy fuck, I love this?
In Destiny 1, it was definitely Oryx popping his big face up over the edge of the
That was an awesome
And
moment.
you're like, who's this guy? I want to know more about that guy.
Yeah, I think like I like I said, Taken King kind of launched my passion about the game and like knowing that it was like, oh, that's Crota's daddy, and like, in the campaign he was real tiny, so we just kind of expected to get to the end of the raid and he'd be, I don't know, tiny part 2 or something, and he was not tiny. And in that awe-tastic moment, that was when it was like, okay, this game means some serious business, and I'm going to throw myself at it forever and ever.
Look over the edge and see those gremlin feet hanging over.
Yeah. It was icky.
when I first started playing Destiny, do you guys remember like on the Cosmodrome, like the first set of missions, there was one where you're fighting through a bunch of hive like in the tunnels of the Cosmodrome, and then you come out to this big clearing, and the mission has you like bleeping on a computer, and then this big antenna array is rising up out of the ground. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
That
then
was
there's
an awesome moment. And the story didn't make any fucking sense, but I was into it anyway.
It's
That
also
was
one of
when
the
I
best
said, holy
soundtracks.
fuck, I love this.
The
What's that?
story part for me. Oh, sorry. Go teach.
That part you just brought up is one of the best musical pieces, I think, in Destiny
Yeah, that was
scores
it was a sweet fucking moment.
ever. Yeah.
Last
Yeah.
array.
Yeah.
I think when I was reading the Vex researchers, and they were experimenting on the Vex, and they saw a simulation of themselves, and they had this revelation: are we in a simulation? And that was probably my like, oh my god, yeah, okay, I'm in. Like this is pretty cool. And
It's cool.
I think that was one of the really early lore entries I read.
For me, I think it was when just like thinking or going through Vault of Glass and then seeing the enemies and like connecting the dots of just like the names, the Templar, and like this whole time stuff with the Vex, and not understanding any of it, but seeing the connections that they were trying to make with the in the game and the weapons and pray to this timepiece and stuff like that. Like I feel like that solidified my interest in the game beyond just playing it,
Yeah, I think that was kind of the first time for me where I was like, wait, what's the story here with the people that were here before us? Like,
Yeah.
what were they doing here? What happened? And that's kind of the first time that I was like, wait, I want to know more about, the people that came here before we went into the vault.
Yeah, like the fact that there was nothing being said in Vault of Glass, yet there was this, like, it kind of like a Souls
Mystery.
games. Yeah, this mystery and like the stuff that had been left behind.
Yeah.
Definitely is what made me interested. I was like,
And then you go back to the
Conquer-
pew-pews.
yeah.
Conquer MMXX says, lore question for the DCP crew. Since it's been hinted that Destiny will continue beyond the light sphere versus Dark Saga tetrahedron in the final shape, do you think the entity that Savathun referred to, if we look up and watching us, will be the focus after that?
What's the lore on that, Miley?
I mean, we sort of spoke about this already. Is the final shape the darkness? Is it the balance? The whole enemy looking up we spoke about. Is that something above the light and dark? Is it Skira the Watcher, which was the new dialogue introduced in Override? I don't think they're gonna. I sort of feel like they won't have another big baddie. Like I feel like they're trying to just move towards good storytelling rather than light, dark, big baddie, big villain sort of deal. I don't know.
It's going to be us peering through the veil.
It's the fourth wall. She's breaking the
Fourth wall break. We're like the
It goes-
It's a
puppeteers.
simulation.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
You have to go to battle with chat.
go. With chat.
Guardians versus chat. I don't like our chances.
Yeah, I think we're screwed.
The Salian says, oh, they got 3 questions here. All right, we're going to rapid fire these questions. Ready?
Okay.
Here we go. How do you think this season will be content-wise since it's going to be a long season?
Yes.
Good. I just want it to last the whole season. As long as it's something like it keeps going for the whole season, I'll be happy.
And we have the 30th anniversary thing in December, so it's
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
give us a break. They thought about it instead
Yeah.
of just being like, story's over. You got 3 months left.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I think that's
You got to play for the
story.
story. You get for the story, be like, great story. Then your 30th anniversary will be
30th
here. Take a
anniversary.
bit of time off, and then you'll be back for Witch Queen.
Yeah.
Plus, there's a ton of
That's
games
really
coming
bad.
out this fall that we're
Yeah.
going to want to play too.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't Elden Ring coming out in January?
Elden Ring is January. Yep.
So
Halo,
assuming
Battlefield.
nothing. Yep. A lot of stuff.
What are you the most excited for with upcoming content? Witch Queen / Witch Queen. Dark Guardian.
The Hive
100%.
Guardians, man. I'm
Yeah.
so excited to see them doing light abilities because we've had enemies doing, even if they're different, they're doing the same kind of thing. We've never had an enemy use something like that against us. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And legendary campaign. I'm
Yep.
really looking
Yes.
forward to
Yeah.
what that happens.
Yes.
That looks
I hope
like
that you can
legendary
start with
campaign.
that. I hope
Yeah,
that you don't
same.
have to do the beat it on normal first. I hope that I can just go right in and be like, I'd rather this take me longer my first time through it.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
That's fair. That's a
yeah,
good
true.
point.
can I say
In Destiny
finishers on
1, when
ghosts?
you chose the mission, it would give you the option like right at that point. I hope they do it right there, like right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Choose
Well,
the
D1
mission,
had that,
choose the
right?
difficulty.
Where
Yeah.
you had to pick.
Normal and
Yeah.
heroic
Yeah.
that you could pick from. Yeah.
I sort of feel like they're probably gonna make you play it first.
Well,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Dad, why you speak this way to me?
Jay.
What do you hope they add in the Witch Queen?
Powdered donuts.
We've already got so
Kinda
much stuff
I'm
coming.
kind of stoked about what they've said they're adding, like with
Yeah.
weapon
Yeah, it sounds
crafting
amazing
and-
already. What more do
Yeah.
I want?
I'm gonna tell you, but you can't laugh at me.
Okay.
Oh, we're no promises made here.
Okay. All I want is for the raid exotic to be a like hive katana that in like kind of like how you charge lament with block, instead of an actual block, you get down into like a charge pose and you hold it and you hold it, and this whole time while you hold it you can mark like 7 enemies that are like red bars.
Oh, right.
And
This
then when
sounds
you
good.
let go, you'd be like, "Choo, choo, 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 choo," and you just like, and you know, if it was like, it would be like an ad clear heavy attack that you'd have to like vulnerable yourself for like 8 seconds to charge up and just release.
Ain't nobody laughing. That
Sounds-
sounds
sounds
amazing.
awesome.
Sounds
Yeah,
great.
why would I laugh
I
at
would
that?
also like that. Thank you.
Where do I sign up for that?
Like
Yeah.
that.
You basically just see what's it like? It's like the meme of the sword just comes out and goes back in, and then everyone falls over.
I don't think it's going to happen for Witch Queen, but I think it needs to happen. And that is the core playlist, like the thing that you go to during seasonal content after that first hour and a half needs to be updated. More strikes need to be made, or that playlist needs to be revamped somehow. The Crucible playlist, like we need new Crucible maps in there. We need new game modes in there. And Gambit, I don't know, something needs to happen with Gambit. I know some people really enjoy Gambit, but for me, it's just kind of, I don't know. I just try and get through it as fast as I can, and I really
Okay.
concentrate on the bounties when I'm in Gambit.
Question: do you think we're ever going to get a new Gambit map, or have we seen the last Gambit map?
Why is the Dreaming City one not back this season?
It's
question.
a sign.
Good question.
It's being
That is.
shaved off one bit at a time.
Briar, would
Yeah,
it
that
be
would
enough
be-
for you in the strikes playlist if they unsunset the Nightfall exclusive weapons and added them back into those strikes loot pools with random rolls?
No, because my bigger problem with the strike playlist is that I jump, like I land, I get on my Sparrow, I fly my Sparrow exactly to where I know I have to get off. I kill exactly the enemies that I know I have to kill to progress through the door. And it's like literally just a sprint to the finish line in strikes because I've played them so many times, I've memorized them, and so have the people I'm playing with. So like when you have bounties to do in there, like you got to get like, 25 sidearm kills, it becomes a pain in the ass because like everybody's dead. Like if you're half a second behind your group, like it's just, we just know them and we've run them so much that it's just routine. It's rote,
What if Hive Guardians replace all of the enemies?
They would also have to change up like the spawn locations and like what's going on in the strike itself, because if they just were to like drop him like Control C, Control V, Hive Guardians into where enemies go now, it would help, but it would still be, you know.
Yeah, it's variations, right?
Need new strikes. Yeah.
You guys playing Final Fantasy? Anybody in here playing Final Fantasy?
No.
No.
The 14?
Nobody's
No.
down. Yeah. So I'm new to it, so I'm not a big player of it at all. But I've started to realize they build dungeons that are basically strikes into that game. And the first time you play them on normal, you row one route and you kill a certain boss. And the hard mode is the same environment and assets, but it's a different route with a different boss. And so I imagine that saves them on development time and effort because, sure, maybe it's a different mechanic in like a boss room or something, but that arena is still the same. So like it'd be like in Destiny of the Scarlet Tower strike. I don't remember the name of it, but
Yeah.
what's her name's in there? Like that's such a big place. Like I feel like that would, you have the pit in there and all these different things. It might be kind of cool to have like a variance where if you choose a harder difficulty, the GM takes you on a different route through that castle.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's a way to.
Well, they started doing
well-
that with D2 and Vanilla. They had like a few of the strikes had alternate things that could happen throughout
They
the
did, yeah.
experience. They started experimenting with that, and like they've done a little bit with enemy composition, all that. But you're right. They need to double down on that to make each strike experience kind of have this evolving possibility, so you don't feel like you're going to the same exact enemies with the same loadout and trying to rush to try to kill them before your teammates do to get this bounty done. Like if there was some variety that happened with it, like I've always said that the perks, the weekly perks could change up and be better. And they have added new perks in there, or modifiers. That's the correct term. They've added different modifiers from time to time, but none of it is truly like that game changing. Aside from like heavyweight and the one where you can't jump, otherwise you take too much damage. Like those are the ones that you really notice, and the other ones are like, oh, sure, my grenade comes back more, like some fire pool drops on enemies or something like that. They need stuff that really changes it, so you feel like you actually play different, or the experience plays out different for the strike.
Yeah, one of the things I liked about now I'm gonna forget the game. What was the third-person shooter game that came out recently?
Yes.
Outriders. Sorry, Outriders.
Outriders,
One of the things
yeah.
I liked about Outriders is how you might be running as something similar, but there was a time limit on it. So the quicker you got it done, the more loot you got. And I always felt like some of that was applied to Destiny with the lost sectors, I guess, or like solo lost sectors to get, an exotic, a chance of an exotic. So anything that challenges the player to do, if you can't change the activity and give new maps, anything like what you're saying with modifiers, anything that challenges the player to do it differently and also rewards you for that time, would be a way of renewing interest in something you've played a million times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So,
I think they also need to rethink how they do the powerful engram rewards, whereas like your route to leveling now is so rote, like you've got it so memorized, right? It's like I'm gonna do my 3 strikes, and I'm gonna get the bounties, and I'm just gonna check the bounties as I'm going. And then I'm not going to run a strike for the rest of the week. And then I'm going to do my Crucible bounties. And then I'm going to do my Nightfall bounty. And then I'm going to do my Gambit, my 3 games of Gambit, and get that done. It's just this repetition has been the same now for a very long time. And I don't have a better idea, but I think they just need to switch it up just for freshness sake. It's like, just think of a new system for power leveling.
I think it's better with the pinnacles now anyway. Like, I mean, I went into the
Definitely
season
better,
already
yeah.
at cap basically and just have to do pinnacles. So get
It
good,
would-
bro.
It'd be neat
Yeah.
if they had to take the pinnacles out of DSC, because you can't get, it would be wrong to get 10 easy pinnacles a week, right? You don't want to, that's too aggressive. But what if there was raid pinnacles per week, and you would have the ability to run either vault or DSC for your 5 raid pinnacles, and you could still run the other raids for your loot, but they wouldn't be
That'd be great.
pinnacle drops. It at least would give you the option and wouldn't make DSC feel dated less than a year after it's.
Yeah, kind of like in Crucible, you get to pick which playlist you want to get for those pinnacles.
Yeah.
Similar, right? Yeah, that would be good.
Basically the same thing. Yeah.
Hello, Hallium. Savathun says, could Skira be the Watcher? Could Skira the Watcher be a name of one of the 9, and will Nezarec rise once more?
The
No.
helmet.
No.
I don't know. I don't think I've heard a lot of people talk about the 9, and I don't feel like they've got anything else to say on that storyline. I feel like the 9. And then again, I can't really remember what they said about the 9. Mystical beings. There was a whole lore book about them. Wanted to.
They like trying to
become
figure
here.
out.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out their place in the universe, and
Yeah.
like not trying to be bad or good, but just trying to exist.
Yeah.
I
think people are
just
probably
trying to
thinking about the
chill, bro.
9.
Leave me alone. Thank you. That's the 9.
Yeah.
Switzerland.
Maybe people are thinking about it because of Prophecy, I guess. Prophecy's back. Oh, weapons and Prophecy. So people are playing Prophecy and sort of hearing all the dialogue at the end of Prophecy and be like, this was never resolved. or was it? I don't know. I can't remember.
The thing that bugged me the most about the 9 was that they were directly connected to the solar system, like representing the planets and stuff. And I was like, huh? I want them to be bigger than just our solar system. I want them to be like on a galactic level, encompassing more than just where we're at locally.
My lore knowledge is not with me at the moment when it comes to the 9. They're a tough topic.
Sparty says, this week's characters have talked about being alive for centuries, fighting constantly. If you were a guardian that had been around for hundreds of years, what would you do to keep yourself sane and occupied for that long?
Gambit.
Play video games, probably.
Taking baby farming?
Taken baby for me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Fallen baby farming. Although, I wonder how taken babies taste.
Why they're taking baby? Can you take babies?
They're like
Mylan, can you
Oreos?
take babies?
What's the law on that?
Mylan's like, why am I here?
And this was the
What's
last
the law
time.
on taking babies? How do you take the babies?
Well, yeah, no, you can't. They're too pure. They're too pure. You
So
can't
you
take a
can't
baby.
take
Too
pure
blueberry.
things? Is that
Too
how
much
that works?
antioxidants in them.
Well, when Oryx takes things, it's a dominance of will. So Mara's will was too strong, right? She went to the throne world, but
Babies
wasn't
don't have
taken.
will.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say then you can definitely.
Yeah, but I'm
take
just
babies.
saying, maybe they do. I'm just trying to avoid.
the babies.
Shut up!
We're eating some taken babies.
The babies, the
Fine.
babies too strong. Can't take them. Their will is just way too strong. Impossible.
Oh, you would argue some babies' wills are too strong. You can't tell them what to do, can you? They do whatever they want.
They don't even know what they're doing.
How do you know?
I mean, stay sane. I'd probably go for weekly massages on the Leviathan.
That's
Naturally.
good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Some of those are scions. Like I would think I would go with the Fallen for a good massage. Actually, 4 hands better
Multiple
than
arms.
2.
Yeah, additional arms. That'd be
That
pretty
is
good.
true. I mean, the on Cal, they just got a lot of oil on that ship. You
They
know?
do.
Yeah. But those butchers,
Lots of
though, they could really work you.
Sounds
They
like
should.
too.
Like, I think the Scions, I don't know if they got enough pressure in those arms. Kind of skinny, you know?
They're
Yeah.
old men. I'm telling you, the old men scions in the bubbles. They're old dudes.
Yeah. You want those butchers to
counselors?
come out and be like, you are definitely going to feel this massage.
Oh man, that guy's gonna wreck you.
Great. Even
Well, I
better.
mean, back then, Mithrax wasn't really around to offer us out the Fallen's massage services. So I, had to go to the house where I was invited.
True.
Mhm.
Yep.
Insane 8511 says, "What are everyone's thoughts on who or what Xivu Arath is working for? Also, chance of a DCP Among Us stream with some of the new mods. Are there new mods for Among Us?
Do they mean new DCP mods? We don't have any.
I mean, we talked about who Xivu Arath
Yeah.
is working for, right?
Zivu Arath's
Yeah.
working for the worm.
I agree.
Working
Aren't
for
we
us.
all?
Why do you hurt me like this? Why do you hurt me like this? You not listening?
Funny because people were like, "Oh, we're gonna miss you just being like incorrect with lore." I'm like, it's gonna happen more
Oh,
because it's gonna make Mylan upset.
when have we ever
do you
been
know-
incorrect with the lore?
My favorite
True.
comments from last week, because I read a couple on YouTube, was like, I'm so glad Marlon's getting help with the lore from the real masters. And,
That's
any
right.
variation of that, I was like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Zivu Arath is working for the worm. The worm is the big guy in the sky.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The big worm in the sky. It's
The
like
big worm on
big
the
perm.
the rowboat cloud.
It's like a Pink
Cloud.
Floyd
Worm's
song.
on the cloud. Yeah,
It's that cowboy meme.
Yes.
the worm. Yeah, the worm is
That a cowboy had.
the worm's up in there with his cowboy hat on, having a great time.
Yeah.
Somebody Photoshop that, please.
Codebond says, we are a couple weeks into the new season. What is something you like from the new content? What is something you would want to see improve for the remainder of the season? What's something you guys like from the new content?
I like the Shattered Realm a lot. I like
Do
that. It's like you were saying. I like the loop that you have of that, where you do it once and then you can upgrade and then you can go back in and look for secrets and I just really like the Shattered Realm. It's cool looking. It's kind of spooky. I like it. It's nice, and I
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
we're going from like EDZ and then it was the EDZ Shattered Realm and
Yeah,
then
that's really
Tangled
cool.
Shore and now it's the Tangled Shore Shattered Realm.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I like how uncomfortable I am every time I visit Mara, knowing Savathun's chilling over there in the cocoon.
Just right there.
Just right over there.
I like how I'm so confident in my jumping ability when I'm in the Shattered Realm. I am just killing it in there.
Going up the ladder was a little tough. I didn't exactly go up very much.
I gotta go with the Dreaming City / Awoken aesthetic. I love the seasonal armor. I love the weapons. I love I've always
that is
been
nice.
drawn to that look, and I feel like
Oh yeah.
these weapons and the seasonal armor are delivering in a way that the original Dreaming City weapons and armor just didn't quite hit for me, and I'm getting like the ascended, perfected versions of everything now.
Mhm.
And I'm all about it.
I agree with that.
I'm sorry.
All good things.
Thanks
yeah.
for your input, Milo.
I agree. I concur. I concur.
Insane 8511 says, question, how did Watts get banned in Mylan's Twitch stream? Yeah, I'm curious about this too.
Yeah, Mylan
I
banned
can't
me.
remember. Why did I ban
You don't
again?
remember?
She didn't
No.
top you on the
Mylan was.
leaderboard.
Yeah.
That was, she didn't top you on the Iron Banner leaderboard. That's
Yeah.
Did she threaten to eat you?
I honestly can't remember. Do you remember?
Mylan was shouting about things. Chat was saying stuff. So he started banning. Well, he started timing people out, but he thought it was only for a second. But it was actually for 600 seconds. So he was just timing out all of chat and then quickly realized that he did it for 600 settings, 600 seconds. And then-
Yeah,
So it
that
was
sounds
a-
like something I would do. Yeah.
yeah, Mylan was yelling and he was upset about something. And then apparently it made him feel better by yelling and banning everyone. So
It does. I
I'm
mean,
gonna
give it a
try it
shot.
out.
If
Yeah,
you
I'm
ever
gonna try
feel
it
down, just
self-care is important, Milo.
Mylan was on a rampage.
Yeah. I think you need to go see a masseuse.
I know
Scion masseuse.
my guardian knows a really, really good one.
Really good one.
Oh yeah, so it was Arnie is in chat right now, and he said Watts bans people when she gets mad, and Mylan was like, okay, I just started banning everybody.
Oh, there you go.
Clancy 5000 says, what household object do you own that you consider to be an exotic? My fiance bought this steamer the other day, and I'm hoping I can get the catalyst for it soon. What's the lore on a Consteam? What's an
like,
exotic household item that you have?
Well, this seems like an odd question, but I've got an answer. We've recently upgraded our fridge, and we had the kitchen redone so it's plumbed in, and it makes ice. And I didn't realize how much I liked the fridge to make the ice.
That's
I drink a
nice.
lot more cocktails. I can tell you it's not very good for the health, but that would be my exotic appliance.
Fridge ice. Interesting.
Wait, is
Fridge
that an
ice.
uncommon
Ice.
thing in Australia?
People have them. We're just too poor to have one. But no,
That's how it is in England. England is like if you have one of those refrigerators, you are super fancy.
yeah,
Really?
fancy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
It's actually harder for us to find. I think harder for us to find without them here.
Really?
probably
Yeah.
at this point. Yeah.
Oh, so my
Yeah.
exotic's like a blue to you.
I think so.
Those
yeah.
are your words, not mine.
Maybe.
Auto dismantle.
I mean, it's
Wanna
nice.
dismantle my
I don't want to
fridge,
trade. I definitely want fridge ice. It's great.
Right, fridge ice. Yeah,
On
that's the only
demand,
way.
you can do the little crushed option in case you want crushed.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
best.
It's wonderful. For me, my exotic, I guess if we're gonna go that direction, I have two Vitamixes. I have my sauce Vitamix, the savory Vitamix, and then the fruit Vitamix. The fruit Vitamix is the newer one, but I have two Vitamixes, and
Well, why do you have two?
because one's a sauce Vitamix, the older one that we've had for 10 years, and then I have a newer one that's for fruit smoothies. You know? If I'm gonna blend up some like garlic and onion or something, you know, and it's some sort of savory mix.
He doesn't want to wash
Yeah.
it prior.
No,
Oh,
Just
okay.
use
No,
it
I
and
wash
never
it.
wash it.
I wash
Oh,
it. What are
yeah.
you talking about? Definitely, they're definitely getting washed.
You got two. Why wash it?
Turn that
I
up.
got two.
Why have two if you're washing it?
Also, one of them is like the skinny tall Vitamix, the older style, and then the newer one's like the fat boy. So yeah, there you go. That's my exotic.
When I bought the house that I currently own that I now don't live in, I rent to other people. Other people live in this house. I went to Best Buy because it needed a new stove. And they happen to have at that particular Best Buy a scratch and dent stove that was like, I don't know, 1,000,000 BTU and came with like its own skillets and cast iron tops, and it was gas, and I'd never had a gas grill or a gas stove before. So I bought it because it was like, I don't know, 30% of the price that it would have been new, because it was scratch and dent, but all the scratches and dents were on the sides or the back, so you couldn't see it from the front where you see a stove. This thing was an amazing value, and it was the best stove I've ever had. And now my renters, they comment about it all the time, how nice this fucking stove is.
Nice.
But you guys mostly have electric stoves over there, don't you?
There's a mix.
It's a mix,
It's a
yeah.
mix.
I've
Okay.
never had an electric stove. It's always been gas
All right.
for me.
Electric stoves suck, especially the glass top ones.
Yeah, no deal.
If you bought a glass top stove, you fucked up.
They suck, but my God, are they easy to clean?
No, they're not. They're so hard to clean because the
The
shit gets
freaking
burnt onto
regular
the top.
stove,
surface.
you gotta take the giant great things off, and you gotta
Yeah.
scrub. It's a lot. It's a lot of work.
A lot.
It's a lot of work.
Glass top stoves are so hard to clean because like your pasta boils over a little bit, and it is now permanently attached to the glass top of your
We
stove.
gotta be careful, Briar. Jesus.
Do I look like I'm careful when I cook?
No, I'm with you though, Watts. The lifting the grades and everything. It is awful.
You gotta clean the grates. So you
This
have
is
to.
propaganda by Big Electric right here. Big
This-
Glass Top.
I just don't like
is now-
cleaning
has
them, Briar.
paid for this advertisement.
The avocado prepper for me.
I'm sorry, avocado what?
A little like it's like the 3-piece tool that has the maybe you guys haven't seen these, but it's got there's a slicer to just trim all the way around, and then once it's open, there's a special 3-prong thing that you stick to the pit and it just sucks it right out, which is perfect.
Wow.
And then
Briar's
on the
buying
far
it.
end, there's an ovular shaped thing with a bunch of slicers in it. So then you just take it right in the half that you made, work it right through. You got
All
5
those
fresh
slices.
slices of avocado. It's pretty exotic. I'm not gonna lie.
That sounds
Hey,
really
What's it
good.
called again?
I don't know. What
Avocado
is my wife
pitter?
still in the chat?
Avocado machine.
Avocado.
You see, we
Is
didn't
it
have side
prepper?
quests this week, and that's normally where Briar buys things. So
It's
he's
true,
doing
I
it. He's
gotta
doing it
surplus of
today.
money.
He's catching up right now.
Briar, Google avocado tool, and it's the first thing that it's every
Okay.
image.
Is it
Avocado
difficult to
tool.
clean?
I just got a picture of Tefty.
Damn.
Lol.
That's it. Roasting you tonight, Briar. Barbecue style.
This is $411.
What?
That one is $411. Yeah, I don't know what that is. That's not. I paid $6 for.
400.
No,
That's
but
an exotic.
Briar's like, all right, I don't know, it seems kind of expensive, but he
All right.
recommended it. I guess I'll buy it.
I do like
I'm for the
avocado.
person that buys you the avocados every week.
How on earth is it $400?
I think I could pay someone to do the avocado for me for cheaper than that every week.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
not
gilded.
It's already got the catalyst done. That's what you're paying for. It's the
Free
avocado
catalyst.
tool recup.
The avocado.
You're on the
tool
recap side, aren't you, Briar? For exotic appliances.
Dreadnought says, now that Mylan is officially part of the DCP crew, what's the worst thing you can say or do during a prostate exam?
As a doctor or as the patient?
I'm going to go as a patient.
Dealer's choice.
As a doctor, I think you can say just about anything and it would be concerning.
As a doctor, if they say no hands, that's scary.
Look, Mom, no hands.
Okay, I'll just sleep myself out. Bye-bye.
Now you guys understand why Mylan's here. No.
Why don't I give you 1,000 points?
Hey.
Well, there you go.
Hugo,
That does answer that.
Hugo Rune 79 says, do you think Goldilocks should be sent to prison for breaking and entering, porridge theft, and criminal damage? If so, Should she serve her time in a human or bear prison?
Wow.
Goldilocks identifies as a
is-
bear.
this is thought
Actually,
out.
so
She
uh,
does.
No,
try
no,
and be
no.
sensitive, Hugo.
She should go to a bear. Wait, does she identify as a bear?
No, but she's
Definitely.
being prosecuted by the bears because they're
Right.
seeking
Oh my
depressing
God.
charges
They'd
in their
have to go
bear
to a bear
community.
prison.
Yeah, they're going
The
to a bear
bears are
community.
always trying to keep us down.
Does the Bear
She's-
Nation support extradition?
She's definitely a criminal. We know that for sure.
Was she on meth?
Criminal?
She's definitely a criminal.
Definitely criminal. Yeah.
She's definitely on meth, though.
She's stealing people's food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
if you
is-
break into
Random
someone's
bed.
house to eat their food, you're on meth.
Yeah, look
And
at her
then you
teeth.
Dude,
sleep in the bed.
How
And
far
sleep in their
south?
bed.
How far
messed
south
up.
do the Appalachian Mountains go? Is this in Florida? Does the Appalachian Mountains go?
Hey,
Hey.
nice.
It's a mountain
Florida
range.
woman
It goes
found
very
in
high.
bed.
They're very north.
What is a bear prison like?
Oh, it's not going to be good.
It's that pit from Game of Thrones where Brienne and the bear.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah. The actual bear pit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Goldilocks.
What you want to do is you want to
Messed
find the
up.
biggest bear in the prison and just
Mhm.
walk up and knock it the fuck out. Day
Oh, I
one.
thought you were gonna
right?
say you want to
Assert your
like.
dominance in bear prison.
I thought you might want to like cozy up to the biggest bear. So you're like, yeah, I'm with
Yeah.
the big bear over here.
Get
It
protection.
might be easier to try to knock out the biggest bear.
Pretend
You
you're a
gotta
cub.
seduce the biggest bear.
You got to seduce the biggest bear in the prison.
Be like, want me to check your
Just play
prostate?
dead the entire time you're there.
Yeah.
The Mohegan 9 says, you've been bitten by a zombie on your left arm. Do you want to cut it off with a dull machete, a chainsaw, or have it ripped off by a car?
Car. Sounds exciting.
That might take
Wait,
some like
what?
extra stuff with it.
What's the options?
Dull machete, chainsaw, or ripped off by a car.
I mean, chainsaw is like the best option, right?
Yeah.
Is
No,
that
that's
not
like a
just
lot of
the-
ripping and tearing.
Yeah,
it's
you
gonna-
can
Yeah,
get
I
a-
would say chainsaw.
I feel like it's gonna get the job done though. The car
Yeah.
thing, like, what's gonna
I
happen?
agree.
You gonna tear my?
No.
Oh,
I think the car, it's going to be going at 60 miles an hour, and you hold your arm out, and it clips it.
What if it takes like half your rib cage with it?
Yeah, dude. What the hell?
Rolling the dice, man.
Yeah,
what can I
you-
say?
definitely
definitely
Zombie
not a dull
apocalypse.
blade or whatever.
I'll take the dull blade, man.
No.
Can I sharpen it
Yeah.
first?
The chainsaw? Like that's what if
Yeah.
it, like
Yeah.
what if it grabs like a nerve and just starts pulling instead of cutting?
You think the dull machete's not going to grab a nerve?
I don't know.
The dull machete's gonna
Pull
be
a nerve
easy
and
street.
start yanking.
No problem.
I am ready to explore zombie life, I think. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. Zombies look happy. Let's try that.
Okay.
This is going to sound weird, but I sort of have a serious answer.
You've been in this
because
position?
He's like, I
Well-
did this 2 weeks ago when the dingoes came to visit the.
Haven't you ever been to Australia?
I used to work in hand therapy. My background's occupational therapy, and I went to a convention that was about reattaching limbs. Like
Oh.
it was all about amputations. And they were presenting these doctors and consultants were presenting all the different cases, and one dude fell asleep on a train track and had his arms ripped off. Okay.
Both of them? Like he fell
I
asleep
think
like
both.
this?
Yeah. Somehow he fell asleep with his arms like on a train track. And
Whoa.
anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is when there is a rip, it is very hard to reattach stuff. The other example was a dude that got his hand cut off with a samurai sword, and that was very easy to reattach tendons
sounds
You want
fun.
to
and stuff.
slice.
You want to clean
Samurai is super sharp, though.
cut.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So-
I mean,
None of these are super
what would
sharp.
you-
chainsaw is
clean
not a
cut.
slice. It's a
No, it's exactly. Chainsaw is mulching through the flesh to
Mylan
make a
said
cut.
chainsaw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would still go chainsaw.
See?
oh. Mm-mm.
Wait, Briar,
go.
can you
But Briar's
pantomime a
like, dull
chainsaw
blade.
again?
Yeah, dull blade's great.
Look,
What was your?
I think zombies are underrated. I think that's the way to go. Last question of the night.
Just want to say that convention sounds pretty exotic.
Pretty legit,
Yeah.
dude.
It was fascinating, I
Oh,
guess.
I'd like to go.
Gruesome and fascinating, I guess, when you look at that kind of stuff.
I
Lots
should
wants
probably
to
go
attend.
because then we know how to take Briar's leg off and eat it and put it back on.
Yeah, we need to learn
Stick.
some like
You'll be
grafting.
hearing from HR. Mylan,
a
I think it's
Pope
telling
bear?
that you are now into YouTube. You're not doing that shit anymore. All right. Last question of the night. Blaney McBlanderson says, which of the following true statements seems the less truthy? So you remember we had one of these?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but they're all true. By
Mind
the way,
altering.
Yes.
They're
All of these
true.
things are true according to Blaney McBlanderson.
Yes.
However, which one of them does not sound or sounds the least truthy?
Least likely to be true.
Okay.
Number one, lobsters communicate by peeing on each other's faces.
They're warlocks.
They're warlocks. Warlocks of Maine.
They're warlocks of the sea.
Also, is Sebastian a lobster
Yeah.
Yes.
from The Little Mermaid? Yeah,
Sebastian
right?
Stan?
Yeah. He's a warlock.
Yeah, he's a warlock. Someone was trying to say he was a crab or something. I was like, it's a
He's not.
warlock.
Wait, Sebastian?
Yeah.
Sebastian's
he
a
was a
lobster.
I didn't know.
I think he's a
Is he a crab?
Some
He's
people
a
say he's a
crab.
crab.
He's not a. There's no way
He's
he's
red.
a crab.
So he doesn't have the tail, but it's a cartoon. So I'm like, there's like a mermaid. So let's just say he's the lobster.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
He's a lobster.
No,
He's
they,
red.
Yeah, he's red.
He holds his
Lobsters
arms like a
turn red.
lobster.
Yeah.
kind of messes with
Milo's
your
was
mind.
so low on the lobster.
You're breaking
Milo's
my
trying
mind
to
right
figure
now.
it
I'm
out.
like, huh?
2, it is impossible to burp in space.
It's impossible.
And 3,
Right.
when a sea slug gets parasites, it rips its head off and grows a new, uninfected body.
Dude, that's pretty metal.
dope. That's really cool.
That's pretty metal.
Wow. I might get
The
a
least
pet
believable is definitely Sebastian pissing on
Yeah.
Being a
Sebastian's
crab
buddy.
is what's the most least
Yeah.
believable.
Not
Sebastian being a crab.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I'm still Googling crab or lobster. That's the least believable.
They said they call him a crab in the movie and in the songs. No, I think you're
Yeah.
lying.
I think they're
Yeah.
wrong.
Oh, in his like
They were-
biography, he's a lobster.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
Sebastian is the R. Kelly of The Little Mermaid. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
I feel like we.
Yeah. To me, the least truthy thing here is that Sebastian is a lobster.
No, that he would be a crab. He's definitely a lobster.
He's
No,
definitely
he's definitely a crab. He's
What?
got no
lobster.
tail.
Oh no.
He's a lobster.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah.
There's a freaking mermaid. He's a lobster. The truth, and he speaks. The truth has
Sebastian,
been bent.
Full name Horatio Thelonious Ignatius Crustaceus Sebastian is a lobster and one of the main protagonists in Disney's 1989 hit film The Little Mermaid.
It's
I
quite
feel like you're lying
possible.
right now.
It's quite possible that the
Fat Farm
writers,
would
the
not lie.
songwriters, didn't know, and we're also confused because there wasn't Google at the time when they wrote this. You know?
That's true.
There's
we'd
mixed
never know.
feelings. Apparently, he's called a crab in the song.
But he, in his official biography, he's a lobster.
Who wrote the official biography? The CIA?
He's from Kansas.
Isn't it weird to think of him being demoted to a crab? Isn't like a lobster clearly superior to a crab?
Superior.
No way.
Right?
Crab is way
No.
tastier than lobster.
No. Well, no, it's not
Yeah.
in terms of taste, but in terms of like lobster, and then
Yeah.
it's a crab. You know,
Yeah.
Alaskan
prestige.
king crab with
Yeah,
those
prestige.
long legs.
Oh no.
there's varieties. You see the coconut crab, and you have nightmares. I get that, but if I'm thinking like,
Mm.
sea creatures, typical sea creatures that are coming out
Lobster.
to be, yeah, I feel like lobsters.
Can
the king.
lobsters regrow their limbs like crabs can? Their claws?
So on the Disney
Can crabs
wiki,
regrow their
this
limbs?
is Disney's
Yeah.
official
They
statement.
can like rip them off and regrow them.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Disney's official statement says he is a red Jamaican accented crab who serves as King Triton's advisor and distinguished court composer. That's Disney's official wiki.
And who wrote the official wiki, Briar? Huh?
Yeah.
The
Was
CIA.
it Walt? Was it Walt?
I think it was the crabs. They're trying to claim Sebastian.
This is a conspiracy.
So, to
well,
summarize, he's a lobster.
uh, And that's also the show. That's episode 255 of DCP. I'm really glad that we were able to raise everyone's IQ tonight with those
He was in a
questions.
follow-up movie called Tale of Two Crabs.
Because he's the lobster. He's the tail. He's the tail of the two crabs because he's a lobster.
Yeah.
There you go. That makes sense now.
Yep.
Bingo.
Before we do our sign-off stuff, we should probably mention tomorrow.
Oh, right. We got things going on tomorrow.
You're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific, you can check, I think, the DCP Twitch and probably our Twitches, where we're going to be playing Holtzman's game. I understand other people worked on the game, but Holtzman is our friend, so it's Holtzman's game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's an actual designer. He's an actual game designer for it.
He's an actual game developer guy.
Yeah.
That is cool.
You may find that as unbelievable as we do, but we're going to prove it tomorrow.
We're going to crack that nut.
Do we know
tomorrow?
Do we know anything about the game that we can plug out, or
Yeah,
is this a
so
surprise?
There are no lobsters.
But there might be
the Little
crabs.
Mermaid.
You
they
play
kind of
a
announced it
red
today.
clawed animal.
They officially announced it today. It's called Grim Tranquility. It's a roguelike tactical RPG. So that is the game that Patrick's been working on. And they're showing it off at PAX. And then we're going to be able to talk to Patrick about the game, everything about it, ask him some questions. And then we're also going to be playing the demo of the game.
There you go.
Sweet.
So,
Exciting.
Very
Very
exciting.
Wow.
Yeah. Looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. So 2 p.m. Pacific. You can be here and you will see us
5 p.m.
doing this stuff.
Eastern.
Apparently. 5 a.m. Australian time.
East Coast.
Australian Western Standard Time.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Teej, where can people find you? What's your stream schedule?
Oh man. Well, I'm not a full-time creator, so it's my side hustle, my favorite thing to do in the evening. Some of the evenings. So I'm on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central because of Tejas residence. And then on the weekends we do Saturday Destiny every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And
Nice.
the gist of that is that it's just kind of a pour your coffee, grab your favorite cozy hoodie, and we're gonna listen to lo-fi and just jam on our game as community and hang out a little bit. So
That sounds awesome.
Great.
yeah, it's a good time.
Sounds great.
Cool, man. Well, it's been a pleasure to having you on the show. It's been awesome. And I hope you learned some lobster facts today.
I'm kind
As
of
we
sad
all
we didn't
did.
get to touch on crawfish, but I'm gonna, I could do my own.
Yeah.
research. It'll be all right.
True.
We can
About,
talk some more about
Sebastian
that
could be a
tomorrow.
crawdad. Oh, that's true.
Thank you guys for extending the invitation and having me.
Thanks
on.
for coming
This has
on,
been
man.
Thanks
course,
for
yeah.
coming on. It
Such a
was
blast.
really,
Thank you.
really fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. Cool. Mylan, where can people find you?
Mylan Games on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. And you can also catch me on my second favorite podcast, Destiny Down Under podcast, which you can find on Twitch and Twitter and YouTube.
Awesome. Cool. Watts?
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts. And we're going to be also jumping into Ghost of Tsushima Legends tomorrow with the DCP bros who own a
Yep.
PS5. Sorry, mine.
Mhm.
And
Wait, is there no crossplay between PS5 and PS4 on that game?
Don't
they're
know.
probably. I actually have no idea. All I know is we're playing Gambit. It's literally Gambit.
Yeah.
So
Sony's been such a
Oh, yeah.
proponent for crossplay. I can't imagine it.
yeah, they've been so into it. So yeah, there's a new game mode coming to Legends, so we're gonna check that out after the Holtzman stream.
Yep. Briar?
You can find me watching the hit TV series Snowfall on FX. This show is awesome. It's about how the CIA introduced crack cocaine into the inner cities, and it's a dramatization of how that happened, but it's based on real events, and it's a really fun show, and I can't wait to stop podcasting and go back to watching it.
Jumping right into it.
And
All
by the way, I
right.
hate you guys.
Maybe you should get that light level past 1260 or whatever. Maybe.
Oh,
Oh, man. And I am Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. And yeah, I'll be playing tomorrow. The Holtz's game. Excited about that. I'll actually be streaming it. I'll be firing up the stream for that.
And you'll be streaming
Nice.
Legends.
And I'll be streaming Legends as well. How
Yes.
about that?
Yes.
You will.
Yes.
Don't. I got your back, guys. I forced Tefty to stream something.
Some people are asking for a picture of my Warlock, and it exists, but I'm not sharing that disgusting filth. So, anyways, that's the show. Thanks for watching. We appreciate all the support. Shout out to our Patreons and our Twitch subs. You guys are amazing. Thanks for everyone hanging out, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
And tomorrow.
Bye.
Yeah, and tomorrow.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.